It reckons we're live. Welcome to the Out There channel, live stream 166. We've got Robert on to present the three best school UFO cases, Australia, Africa and Wales, wasn't it? UK. So I'll just cue some music and let the intro go. Hopefully it's all going to go good. Please like and share. We're not too sure how long it's going to take. We'll see how we go. Hello. Good to be back again. Live stream. Okay, we just pause that. Flip to the desktop. And we're in business. Okay. Can say hello there, Robert.
Yeah, hello guys. Hi Jenny.
Okay, hopefully more will join us as the night goes on.
Yeah.
Let us know if the sounds okay on the side there, anybody. Do like, maybe Robert, you can like your own live here, just to see if it pops up.
Okay.
I'll do a sound check before we go any further. Because we are starting probably 10 minutes early. Here we go. Do some talking, Robert.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Any talk?
Just to see if it pops up.
Okay.
I'll do a sound check before we go any further.
Yeah.
Sound check. Because we are starting probably 10 minutes early. Okay, it sounds like it's working all right there. Here we go. Okay. Same as last night, hopefully. Do some talking, Robert.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Any talk?
Just to see if it pops up.
Okay.
I think it's working all right. So we can minimize that now. So this is the area we're going to talk about first. Westall, Australia. South Australia.
Yeah.
I got these tabs up that you wanted queued. And
yeah, leave them alone for now, Paul.
Okay. So just minimize that. Hang on. I think we've lost Renee again. Looks like it's alright over this side. Okay, so this is Westall, Australia. So we'll just do a zoom in to see where it is. You can see it's at the bottom of Australia landmass here. It's on this very tip here. And I'm not too sure where the school is here. And we can do a satellite view to see what it looks like. I've got a nice beach area there, is it? Over this way. Looks alright, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be where the white pointer sharks are. So, Fisherman's Paradise, I reckon. That's where you need to go, Robert. We need to go there. When we're super rich, like Secure Team, we'll do a UFO trip. We'll spending some money I'll make on the channel together, and we'll go there, do a bit of fishing. Let's see. It looks like a barren place there. So where's the school? Surely it can't be this little remote area. I suppose that's a good place for you.
Yeah, look, there's one thing you need to know. The school where it is now is not where it was in 1966, you see.
So whereabouts was it then, do you know?
Good God, not the exact coordination of it, no.
It looks like an empty place there, right? So
you'd have to be pretty much local to know that kind of information there, Paul.
Yeah, well, okay. Considering it's just this little tip, it must have been knocked down because can't see anything there. Alright. Couple of houses. There's hardly anyone down there. It makes a good place for a UFO to land. Look how much land they got here. If it was down here.
Yeah. Well, that's going to come into it later.
What's this area here? That's white sands? Wow, look at that. Looks like very clean white sand there. Look. So I didn't even know about this place.
Looks pretty much that's desert, isn't it?
I thought it might be cloud layer, but it doesn't look like it, does it? It looks like it is white sand of some kind. Nice clean picture. So yeah, I don't even know where the school would be now.
It's not too important to the case, you know, Paul.
No, but there's that little man list that would have been in that area there, Westall. There you go. It says Westall there, unless there's two Westalls in Australia. So yeah, we can close that. Oh, we'll leave it open because might need to search back one. So where do you want to begin? So it's all yours. Hey, Renee.
The initial.
Which one you want to start with?
Westall.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Yes. So where do you want to start with?
Okay.
A web page or something?
Okay. No. Let me go.
Yep.
Yeah, please.
Go.
Okay. It's Westall School, Melbourne, Australia, April 6, 1966. There's over 200 witnesses, mostly pupils, civilians, and at least one, maybe two, school teachers. Let's move on to the chain of events. Up to 3 UFOs seen on the school, from the school grounds and also the sports ground. 1 UFO landed at the Grove.
Yep.
Right. One pupil that was at the site of the landing fainted, and another, whose name was Tanya, became hysterical and was taken away in an ambulance. And she never came back to the school again. She kind of vanished.
Mm-hmm.
So this wasn't going down well with the kids. A lot of them were hysterical. A lot of them were terrified. They thought it was the end of the world. They thought it was Armageddon. Others seemed to be drawn to these objects that were doing all kinds of maneuvers, and they were very low at like kind of treetop level over the grounds of the school. Some followed, some ran back in, some were screaming. So it was quite the case. Okay, going through the chain of events here. It wasn't long before the media caught on to this. There was 2 of them. It was Channel 9. They turned up pretty quick, but even quicker than them was the Dan the Dong Journal. They were there really quickly. They got wind of all this, you see.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the worrying thing and very important part of this case. There was a military and intelligence presence within 20 minutes, just 20 minutes. And I'm sure you understand Australia's a big place,
Mm-hmm.
and there was no military bases in the area. So how the hell did they get there that quick? Now, to me, it suggests they were tracking the object. whether it was one of their own.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have a look at that. Yeah. Or was it something they picked up on radar that wasn't theirs and they felt the need, to pursue it and do their best to whatever. Okay. Going back to the media, there was several interviews with the children as they left school that day, but the police intervened, telling the media to get the hell out of there and telling the children to get themselves back into the school. So there was very little. There was several interviews actually, but the police intervened and stopped any more. The headmaster now, who's called Frank Zambleby. Sambleby sounds like a bumblebee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, holds an assembly in the main hall for all the children and teachers. He tells them that UFOs do not exist, so therefore he did not see one. You've been telling lies, and if you speak about this again, you will get into a lot of trouble. And that was pretty much class over for the day. Now, okay, so let's look at how the hell did the military get there in 20 minutes? Because there was two reports of, it seems there was 2 units there even of military. One came in jeeps and trucks, and it was they were all in a khaki uniform. The others came in camouflage. Now, there was no camouflage uniforms for Australian military at that time, only American. Now, from my research, I've gathered that there was an American presence in Australia, which is mainly due, at least as a pretense at least, was for the Vietnam War, which didn't start till 1968, but there was a build-up. They knew it was going to happen, so there was build-up between. And of course, the location of Australia to Vietnam was better than the US to Vietnam, so it would make sense for them to be putting their own troops in there. But yeah, so apparently there was Americans on the scene as well. So were they following, something that was theirs, a black project, or was it something they intercepted that wasn't theirs? We'll try and answer that question as we go along. Okay, Paul, if you could go to that first video, please.
Yeah, I was just trying to find the location while you're reading it out. The Grange is called the Westall High, the Grange.
Yeah. The Grange is what they call a wooded area.
Yeah, according to this map here, we've got a map here. I'm just trying to find that Westall High, the Grange, it reckons here. So that was on that little peaky bit, was it? Just behind. I was just trying to find it on the map because it doesn't make any sense. When I type the Grange in, it doesn't come up. So I don't know. It's quite weird. So beats me.
No. Hold on a minute. You're looking at the Grange when you should be looking at the Grove.
It says Westall High here. RF base was opposite there. It reckons.
Yeah, that's an RF base, yeah. That's Royal Australian Air Force, isn't it?
So that means they could easily get there in 20 minutes, though, by air. It's only 30 kilometres.
Well, this is another thing, you see. There was up to 3 UFOs seen, and they also seen Cessnas. I'm sure you're aware of the Cessna aeroplane.
But you said there was no Air Force base there. According to this map, though, it says...
I didn't say... I said military base.
Well, I suppose RF base is the same thing, though, isn't it?
Well, okay, but that's quite a distance to fly. That's, 30 kilometres? But it's a long way by land, Paul.
Okay. I still can't find it on the thing here. Irish base, Point Cook. Let's see if we can put that in. Point Cook. Is that to do with Captain Cook, maybe? Point Cook kind of makes a ring a bell. Has that come up with anything? No. Got even further away. Point Cook. Here we go. Victoria. And that's way at the bottom here. That can't be the same place. Could there be two places called Westall in Australia? That does look like it might be. Yeah, it looks like it could be at the bottom here. Look. Let me just zoom into that area. I don't know. Is that a bay going in there? Like an inlet? Yeah, it is, isn't it? Inlet. Oh, that wouldn't be Westall there, surely. It looks pretty...
Yeah, okay. Wouldn't it be better to listen to the people talk that were there?
Yeah, but I'm just trying to pin the location, and yeah. Kind of funny I can't find it.
You should have really done this beforehand.
Yeah, I know. Oh, here we go. Westall Secondary College. Now, where's that come up?
Yeah, that's another thing that we need to remember as well. That this was a high school or secondary school, so the pupils weren't little children. They were 11 to 16.
Okay, that makes more sense. It looks like the bay across here. So, was there a military base here? Yeah, Point Cook. There it is. So that now we got the location right. So it wasn't that wasn't the.
That's
so
a hell of a way off.
It's yeah, but what's interesting though is there was two Westalls. This Westall Secondary School, which ain't part of the Westall area. It's not actually called Westall. It's actually called something else here. Free Tree Gully. What else we got? Black Rock. Melbourne. It's not too far away from Melbourne actually. And there's the Air Force Base over this side. Okay, so now we've pinned the location. Yeah, you want me to go to the first one, this one?
Yeah, the first link, Paul, and if you can play it from like 14 minutes and 10 seconds, right through to 20 minutes, please.
They got some interviews here. Do you want to listen to the kids growing up first?
If you like, you can play it right through to 20, but I'd like to stop at 20 if you don't mind.
You want me to start at 40 minutes in?
If you can start at 14 minutes in and play it to 20, please, because getting the most relevant points here.
Play it to 20. So from 20 to 40, you mean, or 40 minutes onwards?
14.
Right.
14 minutes.
Oh, right. Okay. I'll just play a wee bit of the opening here anyway.
Yes, if you like.
To come together to shed light on what really happened here in Westall in 1966.
Okay, I'll just open it up a bit.
Authorities claimed it was a weather balloon, but 5 decades on, these witnesses aren't so sure.
I stood there absolutely transfixed and saw the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Hopefully it's loud enough.
It took a while for me to sort of comprehend what I was actually looking at because I'd never seen anything.
That one seems very low volume, doesn't it?
The one that was closer.
Yeah, it's very low volume.
Just sitting there, and then it went down, came up, and then banked on the side. Really, really fast. It was moving away, so it had lifted off with the oval, okay, and it was moving away from us, and we just
I haven't changed anything.
Chasing it, and my girlfriend and I sat on the fence, climbed up the fence, and just sat there and cried. We thought it was the end of the world.
I came down into the paddock where the kids had seen this thing land. The paddock grass was about knee high, and as I walked through with pushing my bike with my uncle, I saw a group of about 20 people all huddled around looking at the ground, all looking at a circle, perfect circle. It was probably about 4 or 5 metres in diameter. The edge of the circle was perfectly formed. It wasn't as if you could, cows or any other animals or even the kids had come in and just rolled around. It was too perfect.
I mean, I know what I saw, and in fact, I don't expect them to believe me, because when it happened, I didn't believe what I was seeing, because it wasn't possible. What I was seeing wasn't possible.
Okay, we don't want music because that gets us in trouble. So we want to go to 14 minutes now?
It's 14 minutes, Paul, please, yeah.
There we go. Roughly. A bit worried about the volume, wee bit low there. Let's see. That's the thing with some videos, they're just too low, aren't they?
If I'd been at Westall on that day, I would like to have raced after that flying saucer and gotten so close to it, to have held it in my hands. But the adults at Westall High School saw it differently.
That afternoon, our principal called a special assembly and told us all not to talk about it.
All I know is the whole school was told off. The headmaster says, all you kids are nuts. It's a weather balloon. Don't talk about it.
I was prepped to tell the students, but what
Shades
they'd seen
of
didn't
Goswell, eh?
exist. We weren't allowed to leave the school, at least I wasn't. My job was to walk up and down the corridors and make sure that all students were in their rooms. I was walking back from the West End. There was a confrontation between Mr. Sambleby, Barbara Robbins, and a man I'd never seen before. I thought it was a police uniform, but it was just dark blue. It was demanded that she hand over, not the film, but the entire camera.
I was near the gate and the police had arrived.
There were journalists outside. The police are being called in to keep the journalists away.
We were told that we weren't allowed to speak to the media in school grounds. After school finished, there was a TV crew outside school grounds, so we undertook an interview with them. Now, I can't remember whether it was a principal or a school representative that came out and ordered us to go home and the film crew to leave.
And I'd actually been giving an interview to Channel 9 and the policeman actually walked up to them and said, stop filming and you go back into the school ground. Okay, so that's what I did. I was 12 and a half years old.
Because I was a mischievous sort of person, I was always getting into trouble. I had detention for actually appearing on the show, and then I got detention again at a later date after my picture and story was in the Ariel Journal. So I didn't go unpunished, but it was worth it.
I now had two new leads to follow, Channel 9 and the Dandenong Journal. I rang Channel 9 first. They searched for a flying saucer story, and there it was. Now all I have to do is find the can with the matching number.
What year was this documentary, by the way?
I think it was around, we'll put it this way. You know, see that guy there, the researcher? That's Shane Bryan. Okay, now he wasn't born until 1967. So he didn't start investigating this until the 90s. So a lot of the people, he found a lot of the people's, he found a couple of the teachers, some of them were sceptical. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. It's such a good case. And well, go on.
Okay. I just want to break it up a wee bit for copyright reasons.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of music in this.
There was nothing there. I was absolutely devastated, and nobody had any idea where it had gone. It's very frustrating, but the good news is the Dandenong Journal does still exist, and I'm told it's here in the library. It's the only written account I've heard of from the period, so it's really precious.
How many years old is that? Do the count. Yeah, it plays a lot of music in this.
Some people apparently didn't want the kids talking about it, and that raises all sorts of questions. Why couldn't it have been discussed? Why couldn't it have been talked about openly? And why couldn't anybody find any more information about what it was? The headmaster, Frank Sambleby, is a key part of the story. He's passed away, but I hope his children, Max and Gail, can shed some light on his behaviour.
Yeah, now this is quite an important point here about the head teacher, principal Sambleby. Even his, even his son and daughter don't exactly give him a glowing report, as you'll see.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Max? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
He played 50 games for the Hawthorn Football Club.
He was a half-back flanker, and in those days, half-back flankers ran in straight lines, and that's what he did.
He was pretty black and white, and he had a very strong sense of right and wrong, and yeah, if it didn't fit in with what he believed, then yeah, he found it quite difficult.
And this thing would have been seen as something that was disrupting the smooth operation of the school.
And he would have been a skeptic as well. I mean, he didn't believe in supernatural things. He believed in the real life, didn't he? You know, when we were kids, there was a picture on the wall of a Roman soldier standing, holding his spear, and the lava was all falling down from Pompeii, and people in the background were all crouching and running. And Dad said, "See, he's standing there doing his duty." And you know that. I mean, as children, we had to learn that discipline was important, respect, all those things, all the old values. And yeah, he found it really hard as things changed. He was pretty judgmental.
There was plenty for Frank Sandalby to be judgmental about.
20 minutes on.
In the 1960s, rebellion at home and on the streets brought many young people into conflict with the establishment.
You can leave that there, Paul, if you like, you know.
So, his children there looked like in the 60s, maybe? So this happened, this UFO case happened, 53 years ago now? So,
1966.
Yep.
Yeah, my birth, and I'm 52, yeah. So, 52 years.
Yep.
52 years ago it happened.
52 years, sorry, yep.
Yeah.
So the children there must have been 10 years old or so. So that makes them probably about 60s, so...
Yeah. Now, another thing in this case now is Andy Greenwood. Andy Greenwood was the science teacher.
Do you want me to bring his picture up?
You can if you want.
Just open up another tab. Leave that there.
Yeah, he looks a typical geeky science guy.
Greenwood's principal, was it?
Yeah, put that together. The green and the wood together, yeah.
Westall?
No, he's not the principal. He's the science teacher.
Ah, right. Project 1947. Andrew Greenwood. There we go.
We'll get onto his picture later, you know.
Oh, here we go. Might be a picture of him here.
He's not the principal, by the way. He's just he's a first year science teacher.
Yeah. Looks like it ignored that.
No research.
Teacher. I'll just put teacher then. Oh, here we go. Greenwood. Here we go. David Hart. Teacher testimony. David. Who's that? Halperin. The Stranger and the Westall UFO. So that's the teacher there? Is it?
I think that's him. No, I don't think that's him.
You don't think it is?
No, it's not. You'll see his picture soon.
Does say
if you actually let me carry on with it.
It says McDonald Greenwood in the interview here. That must be him. Well, what do you want me to do then? Where will we see his picture? Oh, on the video?
Okay. No, yeah, we will. Yeah.
I'll just get images. So that could be in there, is it?
Here we go.
Here we go.
That's James McDonald, I think. That's
there
James
he is.
McDonald by the looks of it.
That guy there?
Ah, that could well be him.
Yeah, I think you're not looking at the Discord screen. Oh, what's going on there?
Yeah.
Oh, great. I was going to open up the page. It looks like it's gone. Oh, that was a mess. Well, it does say school science teacher there, so that's from there in the younger days. Yep. So where do you want to go now? Where do you want to go for your presentation? Back to the video?
Yeah, well, it's important now to say that Andy Greenwood had a very hard time over this. In that school assembly, he was called an alcoholic and a drink in front of the whole school by Samberley, the headmaster. And he spoke out only privately after that. He'd never go on record again. But he did see what was in the sky that day, and he was rather excited about it, shouting to the other teachers, "Did you see that? Did you see that?"
Mm-hmm.
And we'll move on and we'll find out what happened to him. So if you move on to 24 minutes on that YouTube doc, please, Paul. Go.
Yep, I was thinking about it. End of school.
Still not 100% clear, but I know what they are. They're UFOs.
If they were UFOs, there should be people around the area who can corroborate what the students saw. A headmaster might be able to shut down a high school, but surely not a whole suburb. Within days of delivering my flyers, I'm contacted by a new witness, Paul Smith, who used to work on a property next door to the Grange.
We were loading up for market, and as we were pulling the carrots up, I looked up and I was facing the object in the sky, and I just thought, oh, somebody's got some way of projecting a film of something into the sky. I didn't believe that it was really happening. But my boss turned around and he saw it, and we stood there looking at it for several minutes. A few moments later, the children came over from the high school and they noticed us, they saw us, and they sort of took a while to make up their mind whether they would come onto the property, realising it's private property. Yes. And they decided they'd come in anyway, and they did. They ran straight over the market garden, and they crossed and walked down here to this corner. After a while, trucks turned up with, looked like army trucks. Right. And there would have been about 20 guys got out.
About how long after the object had vanished in the trees?
Oh, I think it was only 20 minutes, which is not a long time.
How did you know they were from the army?
Well, they were khaki-coloured trucks, the covered in patches, you know, sort of, that they to hide, you know.
Like camouflage?
Camouflage trucks, yeah. And it was the long ones that carried quite a few people, and a couple of jeeps.
So a couple of trucks,
yeah,
a couple of jeeps,
yeah,
and about 20 men in uniforms?
Yeah, yeah.
And the uniforms were what sort of uniforms?
Just khaki-coloured uniforms.
Just khaki?
Yeah.
No other, don't remember any other sort
Not
of...
that I can remember, no.
Colours or...
No.
I went looking for a military expert. If the army was able to turn up in just 20 minutes, where could they possibly have come from?
It's quite evident that there was no deployable troops available in Melbourne at the time. The main units were all logistic, the supply battalions and so forth at places like Broadmeadows. There were lots of citizen military forces, today's equivalent of the Army Reserve, part-time units, but they couldn't have responded so rapidly, and nor could they have responded in such a large number. I've come to the conclusion that the first people to respond to the incident at Westall would have been civilians of some sort, quasi-civilians, probably working for defence, and probably wearing the sort of work dress that civilians working for, say, the Department of Supply, say, the research and development establishments of the period, the sort of work dress that those personnel wore.
I discovered that other people in uniform were seen in the area on the day of the sighting. Les Medju went to the Grange with his younger sister, but they saw what seemed to be a different unit.
We hid behind this tree, but fortunately this tree, the branches came down to the ground. Here we are, crouched down on our knees, and we can only look every so often as this tractor came around. He was on guard duty. This was a farmer who's decided to help out. We observed 2 army trucks, 2 men in camouflage, and 2 men in blue uniforms. We better cover this area. And it appeared that a soldier was using a metal mine detector. He's walking around, sweeping back and forth. Keep down. The next time I see them, they turn and they start kicking violently at the ground.
Yeah, it could have been a guiding encounter.
2 officers decide then.
Or it could have been a metal detector. Maybe they're looking for fragments.
Yeah, it's one of the 2.
Time to come back. They come back to the truck and they were gone, and then we could enter the paddock. We had no idea what we'd all walked into. We didn't know what those army men were doing, and all I can say, it was just, what is this? To have the army there and all the rest of it was something important.
So there's a crop circle, wasn't he?
Australians were not using camouflage uniforms in those days in the mid-60s.
No, it wasn't a crop circle, it was a landing.
Oh, right.
But the description of the uniforms
Don't
certainly
say you a
matches those worn
perfect
by
circle. Different from crop circles. They're all man-made then.
Which which a balloon crashing wouldn't do that. But
we do that. No,
we'll carry on.
But we'll move on to that in a minute. If you can get
There were
to
American military and
30 minutes, we'll stop it then.
Okay, that's
Talk
only
about something else.
that's only a minute away.
intelligence personnel in Australia in 1966.
It's 1
as
minute
part of the
away.
Vietnam War effort. The Cold
20
War between the
29
USA
now.
and the Soviet Union was in full swing, extending across the world and even into outer space.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing. Not because they are easy, but because they are
What's that
hard.
hand?
The space race between the superpowers fueled the public imagination at all levels.
Flying saucers have invaded our planet. Washington, London, Paris.
The fascination with flying saucers
Classic
persisted
movie.
all over the world. Australia was no exception.
Well, so far, I haven't seen anything even vaguely resembling a flying saucer or even a flying cigar. But thousands of people, in fact millions, do believe they exist. What do you think they are?
They are real, anyway. They come from the other planets. Some of them may come from the centre of the Earth.
I haven't seen one close up yet. This is what I'm looking forward to one day.
You took a step towards the figures and the object.
We used to invite people who reported sightings to talk about the experience, because if the sighting was a dramatic one, they would feel, you know, I just need to talk to somebody. But if I discuss it with my friends, they say, what have you been drinking? But they needed to talk to somebody who would take them seriously.
Although society members tried to investigate at Westall, they came up against a wall of silence. All they can now find in their files is a couple of photographs and a sighting report filled in at the time by one of my student witnesses, Joy Tai. They also went to Moorabbin Airport to look for the pilots of the aircraft that apparently chased the
Do you want to
UFO.
stop it there, Paul? Okay.
Here were the 5 pilots. So I noticed.
Yeah, the Cessna pilots. Yeah.
I see they went the opposite direction to the point place, so it went over this way somewhere.
Some of the students, and this isn't in the documentary, some of the students said the UFOs seem to be avoiding the aircraft, and hence one that they came down at such a low level that it, scared the hell out of the whole school and some civilians as well.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on now to what this could have been. This is the main skeptical theory that's been put forward. It's also been put forward by the military as well.
This one here?
Yes, that's the one. Thank you, Paul. You read me there. It's called Project Hubble, which was a high altitude
balloon
radar detecting balloon. See? Yeah. Shades of Roswell here.
Well, Google's.
I don't know if you can get the read on that, it'd be ideal, because it's not a long article anyway. I'll read it out for you.
Well, I can read it out. Well, let's just make sure it works first. It can read up to 5,000 characters maximum.
Project Hubble.
Okay. So we'll just read out a chunk. Google Loon Balloon apparently is a high altitude balloon as well, which had been reported as a UFO as well.
Project Hubble, the answer to Westall. Files destroyed High-All, introduction. A research project I conducted a little while ago concerned Project Hubble, which launched high-altitude balloons from 1960 onwards from Mildura and several other Australian locations. In previous posts, I provided details of the Hubble program and suggested these very large balloons might explain some Earth sightings from that era. In addition, while conducting a cold case investigation of the 6th of April 1966 Westall case, I began to look for a project which involved the former Australian Department of Supply, DOS. Westall researcher Sean Ryan was contacted by the family of a former DOS employee who maintained their father knew the solution to Westall. The American government, some Westall witnesses reported people wearing what some professionals have described as American uniforms. A light aircraft, Westall witnesses maintained several light aircraft circled the Earth, and some form of flying object, which could have come down near Westall High School. This cold case investigation brought me right back to Project Hubble. These very large balloons lifted a heavy payload high above the Earth. A chase aircraft followed each flight and cut down the balloon via radio signal. The payload, weighing about 200 kgs, then dropped to Earth below a 12 meters diameter parachute, taking an hour to get to the ground. The balloon went on to land elsewhere. Chase vehicles with DUS personnel then retrieved the payload.
Yep. So they were launched from Medora. So we probably need to find.
And they were present at the time all through the 60s, I believe.
So where's Medora on Australia then? Let's see, can we find it? Victoria, Australia. Here we go.
It's worth looking at that as well.
And then we want Westall High. I wonder if I put both on the map so we can see how far away it was. That's what I'm trying to do. To Westall High. Maybe I've done it wrong. Medora. There's a way you can get it on the map at the same time. I've done it before. I'll just go back from there to there. Let's see what happens. There we go. Oh, there you go. So now we got a location and we can see how many hours drive it is. So the long road is 6 hours and by air it's 1 hour 5 minutes. So they launched it from way over here. There you go. Where, I don't know exactly. Golf course, airport. Did they launch it from the airport, did they say, or military base? I forgot what they said.
I would imagine it had to be military base, so it could have. I really don't know.
Let's see, what does it say here? South Australia, and as far away as South Australia. So we probably need to put that on the map too. I wonder if it'll do too.
We'd also need, to really help us with the wind direction for that day. And
yeah, that's how you submit it to MUFON. They would probably look all that up. I don't think we'd have weather records that we can look up. So I wonder if we can.
At this point in time, I'm not really sure that this balloon theory fits because it's going against everything the witnesses are saying.
Let's see if I can get the other location to come up. Australia. So this is the other location they send it from, even further away. See, it's 14 hours drive. So yeah, went from all that direction all the way over this way. So that looks to me like the wind direction would have to go south. What's that location there? East coast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Southeast. So the wind had to be travelling southeast to land at the school there. Sounds a bit wishy-washy though, because didn't they say there was alien creatures that come out? So
no, there's only one witness that reported occupants. Only one.
Oh, right.
He came out the closet years after the event. You see,
so it could be made up.
He wasn't an original witness, but I wanted to get on with that a little bit later. But let's go with it. It's a good case.
Have we got drawings with it at all? Westall UFO drawings? Do they draw anything?
Does it didn't have too much?
Does it look like a balloon, or does it look like a UFO? Is the question.
It wasn't like Broadhaven and Ariel, where the teachers actually separated the children and told them to draw pictures.
Well, it looks like a round blob here by one of the pictures. I'm not sure if that's Westall.
I think some of these are artists' renditions, as you well know.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure you can go on them.
Did they have two objects or one object? Because that one's got two in it.
There was three. Some people seen three. Some people seen one. Some people seen two. But they were all looking from different directions. The sports field, the ground, and civilians from wherever.
Yep.
They are seeing objects sitting below.
Yeah. So that's what they're saying it is. It looks kind of small UFO though, doesn't it?
They've described, I'm not sure that scale is right though, but they're describing them as flying saucers, which they would have done in 1966, that term UFO, although it was coined in 1952. It was still the popular thing to call anything unusual in the sky was flying saucers at that time, in that time period, so children would have described them as that.
Okay. Well, that's the Sam Bay Way one. We're coming to that one yet. So what's that one?
That looks like Broadhaven, that, you know.
Yeah, that's the next one we're going to talk about, isn't it? So it's funny. It's funny. I put that in the search term, and those two ones that come up, the other two schools that come up. Anyway, it looks like it's like a UFO with a little titty light on the top. Looks like
children did report some lights on the object.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. Where do we want to go to now?
Yeah. Okay. If you can go back to the original document and play it from 32 to 42, please.
Okay.
When I get to tell you what to do.
32. Okay. Government wanted to stifle. Okay, go from there.
They set up a committee to objectively investigate UFOs, but a leaked memo revealed that the whole investigation was a sham. The government's most vocal critic was the top atmospheric scientist, Professor James MacDonald.
Why has the government taken this attitude in Europe?
Robots.
As a result of the extremely heavy wave of sightings in 1952, the CIA and Air Force became so concerned over the sheer number of reports that were tying up American intelligence channels that they wanted to get this signal out of the system, asked the Air Force, the CIA asked the Air Force for a debunking policy. The literal wording was to debunk the flying saucers, to decrease public interest in the UFOs. Regulations were promulgated very shortly that made it a crime, punishable with, I think it's $10,000 fine, and or 10 years in prison to release any information at airbase level on UFOs. And as a result of that, nothing resembling any scientific investigation has been going on in the past 15 years.
In Australia, we followed the American policy of ridiculing UFOs, so I started searching for other sightings that might have happened around the same time as Westall. I discovered that 4 days before Westall, a witness took a photo from his backyard in Melbourne that matched descriptions of the object above Westall. Then, just 2 days before Westall, Ron Sullivan was driving in central Victoria when he noticed a strange light display in front of him.
Got up towards it, and holy moly, the whole thing lit up in the 10-foot area at the bottom, sort of come up and met the top, and the headlights of the car was the biggest awesome thing I've ever seen. They just pulled to the right, just so magnetised.
It looks like an ice cream cone.
Right hand side of the road, lighting up, and I said, get out of this one,
This
on the left.
previous incident,
I
isn't
could
it?
feel it back left real steady.
Yeah.
I got out of that.
Oh, there was lots happening.
Ron only reported the incident after he heard that a young man died when his car collided with the same tree Ron had narrowly missed 2 days earlier.
A couple of people from government.
Hello, Justin. How's it going?
One was from the Air Force. They looked at the car, just walked around. I said, well, let's know what you find out. They said, yeah, we will, Mr. Sullivan. Never heard any more about it.
When I checked out the Royal Australian Air Force's list of UFO sightings for 1966, none of these cases were mentioned, though we know they investigated them. It took 16 years for records to be made available to UFO researchers.
They knew what I wanted to look for, and when I arrived, there was a body of files there that consisted of a couple of very large postal sacks. I kept requesting more and more files, and ultimately I got to a point where I examined a continuity of files that satisfied me that I was seeing a comprehensive picture of the RWF investigation at that time. I had a shopping list of things that I was focused on, and one of the key cases that I wanted to find out about was the Westall case. And surprisingly, with the rest of the shopping list I was fairly successful, but the Westall case, given that there seemed to be literally at least hundreds of people involved with it that had media attention at the time, there appeared to be evidence that there was a military investigation at the time, there was no Westall file.
The disclosure team
was between
Cover
6
up.
and 9 people over the years. As you can imagine, a 4 or 5 year project that turned out needed quite a lot of effort. Literally, it was looking through hundreds and hundreds of file titles, maybe even thousands at the end. Along the way, we were always looking for files on the Westall incident from '66. We started off with the Air Force, but within the Department of Defence, we also checked out files belonging to the Air Board, unit files from Air Force bases, former Department of Civil Aviation, Air Safety Bureau, CSIRO, intelligence files, ASIO. But the net result is we found nothing in this mammoth volume of government documentation which would even begin to be a hint that there was something about Westall in the government files. So, amazingly, we drew a blank.
The Westall sighting had clearly been erased from the record, but why? I hoped some publicity would draw former authorities out of the woodwork.
I'm Shane. Channel 10, nice to meet you, Shane. Joy, is that Mark Howe from Channel 10? Nice to meet you.
What we're really trying to get now is the people who are here as police, as soldiers, as scientists perhaps, looking close up at what was on the ground.
Some closure, Joy. How would you get some closure on this?
One thing that we would really like would be that someone, either from the police or the military, would come forward and say, yes, they were there.
So where do you want to go to on this?
Hey, Paul, where are we now? Are we at 42 minutes on that?
37 at the moment.
Yeah, can you go through to 42 if that's okay?
Okay, well, hopefully. Google might complain.
That's what I was concerned
Nobody
about.
from the authorities contacted me.
So what if we pause it and talk about it every couple of minutes?
Saw the circles at the Grange on the day of the sighting and went back the next day for another look.
Yeah, okay, can we stop now?
So that's the Grange. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Grange, yeah.
So what do you want to talk about now?
Okay, yeah, sure. Right, the burnt out area.
Yep.
You know, this is a little bit of an issue. Why burn the area? Now, Shane Ryan interviewed 147 witnesses. Yeah, repeat, 147 witnesses, pupils and civilians, who testified to saying that the whole area there was burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done by the military.
It was done by the military.
Yeah.
Why would they burn it though? Cover up.
Could be to cover up trace evidence, yeah.
Yeah, but what kind of trace evidence?
So that perfect circle was gone. Yeah, we cannot by any means. We must be objective. Can't rule out that it was anything black. Could be a black project.
Yeah. It could have been a craft that went wrong. But to me, it doesn't look like it was too high in the drawings there, you know, because they often talk about 3 foot tall beings and control these craft, right? So it looked more the right size for smaller people rather than humanoids.
Nobody's talking about aliens at all at this time. They're just talking about craft.
Yeah, so it can only be 2 or 3 things. It could be some sort of experimental balloon, which doesn't make sense in that respect. It could be a military test plane of some kind that the Americans were testing in Australia, because the Americans were involved with it, weren't they? The military people. Wasn't there some talk that one had an American accent or something? Can't remember, something like that. And
American uniforms. And well, this is another thing now. John Greenwood was investigated. He thought it was just a follow-up to a story. Guy in a suit, intelligence guy, visited his house. He told him, "You're an alcoholic. Your workload is getting far too much for you. Don't shut your mouth. We're going to tell everyone that you're drinking with your breakfast in the morning to cope with the workload. And if you keep talking about this, we will ruin you."
Okay, I've gone to the Black Vault and it's got an article here, PDF on the burnt grass. So I'm not sure how big it is, but it's taking a while to come down. Very slow.
PDF file should download in no time.
There we go. So this is, he gets a lot of freedom of information requests, doesn't he? So let's see what he's got here. A lot of stuff. Minister of Administration Services. Concerning unidentified submerged objects. Because they're right near the water there, so.
Yeah, I think these are other cases. You know that we're in the same period of time.
Yeah, 81
See,
here.
look at that, 1981.
Yeah.
So that's not even close.
And there was meant to be some regular text on here. Let me see, how do we search the text on this? Where's the search thing? Search. Can you see it? I want to go to the burnt grass bit because there was something listed here.
Screen.
That's the search up here, isn't it? Here we go. Grass, was it? Grass. Here we go. What's it found? Grasslands, no. Next one. Dead grass. What's that one? No.
Scroll up.
I was trying to find. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Talking about the burnt grass. Regarding the UFO landing 6th of the 4th, 1966, near Westall High School, Clayton, Victoria. Why did the RAF burn the grass in the area to destroy the fallen landing nest? Excuse me, I've got a tickle in the throat. So what was all this stuff here? 1972.
Scroll back up to that, Paul. You skipped a bit there.
Where do you want me to go?
Where you were.
That's the top of the letter. 1981.
I know, yeah. Yeah, let's go back to the case, though.
That was a point that someone's written in a letter about the burning grass. So you won't look at this page anymore, or not? Seems like a whole collection of stuff that's got Westall High School mentioned in it on the Black Vault. On the Black Vault here called UFOs.
Yeah, it's a good place to go to.
But I did type Westall UFO. I thought you might have a summary page on it for us. All the strange things. We've got a Wikipedia there. Black Vault's come up with this one in here again, talking about the grass. The Westall UFO incidents, pilots may hold answers. Have you looked at that one? Is that worth having a look at?
Yeah.
You may have missed that one.
Looked at that.
You have?
Yeah, I looked at this. It doesn't actually tell you anything too much.
No, it doesn't, does it?
No.
Is that it? Just a little header? Or are we waiting for something to come down or something? There's nothing there. Oh, right, here it is. Just a little news clipping, isn't it? By the looks of it.
Yeah. It's still data.
Yeah. An oval, mysterious objects in the sky. So it doesn't actually say, I can't actually read it out though, it's a bit small. Alright, so where do you want to go through to now? So you're talking about the burnt grass, what else? What's next?
Okay, if you'd like to play the rest of that.
Rest of it.
And then we can move on to something else.
Hey, Vinny. What are you saying down here? We'll just catch up with the comments down the side. Hey mate, all good man, just enjoying some debunking before bed. We're not actually debunking, we're actually presenting the 3 best UFO cases. We're actually not debunking them.
Justin, I think this is a really good case, and I this is not debunking exercise. I actually believe this was something that is
covered up.
We'll just leave it at unidentified, and there was an obvious cover.
Yep. So where do you want to start from now?
Okay, if you go to, let's have a look. Yeah, just keep it going from there, please, Paul.
Yeah. There was the Air Force of the
Because there's
Army,
another.
a whole group of them there, stopping us.
Back to 32.
32. You want me to go back to 32 now? But we just played from there.
Yeah, okay, but how much of that have we seen? Okay, go to 38.
Well, we're carrying on from where we stopped it last time, so we've seen 5 minutes so far.
Oh, go on then. That's fine.
From going
in that
through
case.
into the paddock. Don't come near this in this area, and we just headed off back home.
Did they give you any reason
No,
why you couldn't come through?
No.
Yeah, don't talk over it because it is quite quiet, this video, for some reason.
Vehicles.
Okay, we choose
on
the balloon.
And they had some sort of instrument, which at the time I thought looked like Geiger counters. The strong memory I've got is what happened after that. And about a week later, I decided to go back again to have another look. As soon as we got down to where the paddock started, all the grass had been cut, which was quite disturbing. Wow. So then we walked through that area to where the circles were, and when we got into the area where the circles were previously, the whole area had been burnt, destroying all evidence.
You asked me whether an R&D establishment would destroy evidence. Yes, of course they would. Bearing in mind that in the 1960s, Australia had great success financially with some of their pilotless target aircraft. Information related to some of these sorts of projects, if it was to be released to the wrong party, then it would have very adverse effects on Australia from a financial point of view. Any surviving documentation would be in Defence Central somewhere, but also probably overseas with the Ally. There may even not be anything left in Australia. But bearing in mind, it would have been very highly classified.
Are you guys hearing that okay on the side chat?
After a period of time.
So it's no wonder that I haven't unearthed any official records on Westall, but it's clear the authorities had something to hide.
Just got called into the gymnasium, and then these people spoke, and they just sort of said, "Oh, well, what you saw was sort of an experimental thing, and we just don't want anyone talking about it or it going any further." So,
how many people were there that came in? Do you remember?
I think there was 5, from memory.
And they were they men and women, or?
I think there was 3 men and 2 women, from memory. So I'm not 100%
sure. And do you remember if they were wearing uniforms?
No,
they're in uniforms.
No, they're just in plain suits and
in suits.
Yeah.
And did they explain where they were from, who they were?
No, not really. Just a couple of the teachers said afterwards they're from one of these experimental mobs to do with the armed forces and stuff like that, and that was sort of the end of it.
It had to have been something that we were working on, and we knew all about it. We were in on it, even though we might have known the detail. To have responded, that's one of the... That really, to my way of thinking, that's the key. It's the fact that we whoever it was, the authorities, responded so rapidly. But they must have just about been sitting on the trucks with the engine going. And perhaps they were. Perhaps they'd received technical intelligence that there was something going wrong with this experimental craft, and they weren't sure where it was going to land, but they were ready to go get it as soon as it did land.
It sounds like a rational, logical explanation, but it needs then to be supported with evidence. If you think about how the people described the shape of it, the speed, the manoeuvres that it made, there's nothing around today that comes close to that.
The final proof might be, for example, getting a piece of a flying saucer and examining it, subjecting to scientific examination, and finding that it's of an element that is not manufactured on Earth. Now, that would maybe the final proof. We haven't got that. So
well, that could be the thing, Robert. It could have been. Okay. It could have been one of these experimental craft that Stanton Freeman talked about, where they're trying to get nuclear engines working, right? And of course, if it crashed into a school, they're not going to say, "Oh, right, that's one of our test nuclear reactors that we're testing." So they're going to cover it up.
Stop there. Paul, stop. It did not crash. It landed. It landed between the trees. Any kind of experimental craft with it. 1966, it would have been coming down at an angle. Yeah, there would have been a mess. I'm sorry, but there's no chance in hell that was what they were showing there.
Okay, so it was an experimental craft that they managed to land.
It looked like an aircraft. It was just a normal aircraft, whether it had a reactor in the back or not. It was just a reactor. There was no radiation there anyway. Good God, that was a bullshit cover-up. Absolute shite. Sorry, but it was, yeah. Nah, there's nothing to explain this case to this day that makes any conventional sense. Yeah, anyway,
but because there's no aliens being witnessed on this one, kind of makes it a wee bit.
No. Well, can I move on to this now? I'll send you
a
link now.
Do you want to listen more to this first, or what?
The end of that while I sort this out, yeah.
Okay.
We're still at the circumstantial evidence stage, and whether that leads you to say, well, these are from outer space, they're interplanetary spaceships, or not, is a philosophical question. It's a question of what you yourself feel is proof.
A yellow sign.
I crave the proof that can be held in my hands and touched and smelled and measured. But I think we need to make room for a little mystery in our lives as well.
I reckon somewhere in this area.
I believe truth can exist without proof of it, and I see a real truth in the stories and memories of the witnesses.
Probably.
Even if it doesn't answer the question, what was it that flew over Westall?
What I saw, I believe, is what a flying saucer has left behind.
Professor James MacDonald looked for proof in statistical data. His research brought him to Australia a year after the Westall sighting. I'd ordered some of his papers from Arizona University, hoping to find something about Westall.
Wow, what is all this? There's a lot of stuff here. James MacDonald's journal.
Like any UFO case.
Stuff here about Westall.
Scan it in, mate. OCR it, and then you can search it. Easiest way to do it.
Next, a discussion with Mr.
1 minute,
Andrew
Jake.
Greenwood in connection
Okay.
with the Westall sighting. This business about the headmaster, he's the one who seemed to be quite influenced by some pressures to keep things quiet.
He just told me that an Air Force officer had been out to the school, and I was teaching at the time, and he told me that he wasn't going to interrupt my class so that I could speak to them. I promptly told them to get lost together. They kind of had much time with him, because I know I was very friendly with the senior master of the school. He said they were only in his office for very few minutes, and Sambleby had sort of come out fuming and muttering, what rot, and all the rest of it.
It's nice to have somebody telling the RAAF that it's a lot of nonsense and sending them back victims of their own propaganda here.
Yes.
Now I had further corroborating evidence that the Air Force was involved at Westall. But students said other senior authorities also came to the high school.
I was called down to the headmaster's office, and there were two men in the headmaster's office, very well-dressed gentlemen.
Men in black.
In suits. They weren't introduced to me in person, and I don't know where they came from. From my references now as an adult, I would say they were Asia.
So this is the actual office?
Oh, this feels quite weird, yes. Yes. There was a desk down this side here, and the headmaster was over here on that side, and the two men were standing over there, and I stood with my back to the window. Only one man spoke, and he started off by, we'd like you to go through what you said happened yesterday. He was firing questions at me very, very rapidly. Then we went into, oh, and we suppose you think you saw a flying saucer. And I was like, well, I didn't say that. I said I saw an object, and we suppose you saw little green men.
Can you remember how you felt once it was over?
When I was
suggestions.
actually in the confrontation situation with the men, felt very, very angry. When I came out, I think I burst into tears. They were certainly the Australian government, and I think it was part
What's
of
interesting is the two men were trying to put suggestions into head. I guess you saw two green, little green men and all this stuff. It's almost like they want to cover up. It's almost like they wanted people to say it's a UFO to take away from it being a secret military project. That's my feeling.
Yeah, of course, but none of those military projects actually fit with what the people were seeing. None at all. What military project leaves a perfect burnt circle? That's a strange one, that.
Well, it didn't leave a burnt. They didn't leave a burnt circle. They burnt it afterwards. It made a
No. That was after the circle, Paul.
Now it made an impression of a circle, but did it say it was burnt? I don't remember it saying it was burnt.
Yes, it did. There was military people doing it.
Yeah, but I'm saying the military burnt it. So I don't know. Well, they didn't see any. They didn't see any flames or anything come out of it, though, did they? So we'll just play it to the end here. I think it's almost finished, actually.
Let the facts come out.
Yeah.
They knew more than what they were saying. It was their job to squash what was being seen. It was a bunch of kids that saw this, so we were.
They're trying to be disinformation agents
the authorities
for
had
it.
found a way to silence the children, but they still had unfinished business with the teacher, Andrew Greenwood. He told me that 2 officers came to his home and threatened him under the Official Secrets Act. They said that he couldn't have seen a flying saucer at Westall because there were no such things as flying saucers. They threatened to tell people he was alcoholic, even though he wasn't. As a first-year teacher with a career ahead of him, he couldn't take the risk of speaking out. The person who had taken all the risks was Professor James MacDonald. His criticism of the government had provoked powerful enemies, but it didn't stop him challenging the establishment with other unorthodox scientific theories. Years ahead of his colleagues, he predicted high-altitude aircraft would destroy the ozone layer and increase the risk of skin cancer. He was invited to address the US Congress, but during his testimony, a congressman made an opportunistic attack. He publicly ridiculed MacDonald by saying he believes in UFOs and little green men. MacDonald's professional reputation was ruined. James MacDonald tried to create a climate of openness where unorthodox thinking could flourish. That's not what happened at Westall.
I remember the assembly that we're all called for.
We weren't even allowed to talk about it in school. We weren't allowed to mention it at all.
There's like 20 people plus in the room at the moment, and there's a real buzz, and everyone's talking about my story. They're talking about the story. And as they're talking it through, they're putting the pieces together. It's wonderful.
What isn't wonderful in the telling of this story is that Professor James MacDonald finally gave up the fight for UFO science. Humiliated and broken, he took his own life.
Did he?
MacDonald's suicide played on my mind.
This is another
I
highly
began to think
suspicious
about weapons of mass
case.
destruction and global warming, where other brave scientists spoke out and were quickly shut down. I want my son to grow up in a world where it's possible to discuss and investigate even the craziest ideas without fear of ridicule.
Now we got YouTube.
Was it something from another planet at Westall? It certainly flew, as if it was. I'm left with the feeling that what people saw was what they said they saw. Something out of this world.
All I knew was what I saw, and it definitely was not any aircraft of the day by any stretch of the imagination, and it certainly was not a weather balloon.
It still would take me to my grave. What the hell was that?
It was amazing. It's something that I've never forgotten. But you just sort of had it stored in the back of your mind because a lot of people are sceptical.
The fact that they can travel so fast and that they've been spotted all over the world, landings and very similar stories of these patches of flattened grass or burnt grass, I personally believe that there is something going on somewhere else.
Okay, probably leave it there, I guess. That's not
It's fine.
I'll just close that one down.
I think I left you...
couple of links there. Yeah.
Just another one, I think.
I have to scroll up a bit. 2 of them, or... Let's see. I think there was 2 links you gave me. Next up, UFO documentary, is it?
No, it's...
Yeah, let me just check to see what that one is.
Mr. Witness, or is it UFO documenting the evidence?
We got this one here, documenting the evidence. And what's the next one?
Yes, okay. Right, okay. Can I give you a little bit of a background on the research on this one?
And you got this other one here.
Found this. Yeah,
right.
Okay, never mind that for...
Yeah, I think that's it.
Now.
Yeah, let me just fix it up. Okay, we're back now. Yeah, that's talking about the ridicule factor of UFO stuff. You ever tried dating? Yeah. You ever tried dating sites? And as soon as you mention that you got a YouTube channel that talks about UFOs, they suddenly disappear. It's disappear. The females just don't like anyone that studies UFOs for some reason. It must be a rare breed.
I don't really believe that. I had a support worker around yesterday, met her for the first time. She looked around at the pictures on my wall and she said, "Oh my God."
Yeah.
I'm your new support worker. Can we mix some of this UFO stuff in with my support? Go for it, girl. Yeah, that's good to me. Happy days.
I think they're rare breeds, though.
I don't think so. You know, there's a lot of people that won't say it publicly one-to-one, but once they see someone who's committed to it, and I made it clear that I was, she suddenly became quite open to it, you know. But yes, in a crowd situation, or you're sitting on a table with 4 or 5 people, you know, at least out of 5, that 3 of those people are going to be skeptical or have no knowledge at all. And maybe that other one is, you know, on the fence, and he'll go with the other 3 if they start laughing. Yeah, so you can get left on your own quite easily. But I'm well past that point now, you know.
Okay.
I'll just speak out. If anyone wants to put an egg in my face, I've got plenty to buy back. Yeah, they're going to end up in tears. I've only got access to a computer, and I can make them think. Oh my God, I can make them think.
Well, this is a long document, so what parts of it do you want to read out here? We've got a lot of...
Yeah, okay. Paul, I've done that. Don't worry, pal. There's too much to go through there.
You don't want the reader to do it? Make it big.
This woman who's called Hazel Edwards, or Hazel Moyer, her maiden name was. She's actually Hazel Edwards now. Paul Dean, a man we're both familiar with. Australian UFO document man he is. He contacted this woman who was a school teacher at Westall during that period. And now, this is the first thing that got my attention. She took 14 months to get back from a Facebook message. 14 months, yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough, yeah. I'm not really sure how you miss Facebook, you know, because by that time, it's kind of overwhelmed with own messages, isn't it? Unless you're very lonely or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, that's unusual. Unless you closed down her account and then reopened it and then seen it, I'm not really sure. But anyway, it took 14 months to get back, which I found a little bit suspect. And then she starts off saying some very strange things to Paul's questions. Paul asked her, what do you think happened that day? And then she said the pupils were affected. They came into the school, hyper, all kind of a little bit off the normal work zone. They were hyper due to the high winds, which often affects pupils. So now a high wind causes you to be psychologically delusional for some reason. Well, I've done my research on that, and I'm sorry, but I can't find a damn thing. She is full of shit. There's nothing to suggest that at all. And it gets worse. As the question carries on, she goes on to say that the range, this is where the UFO landed, by the way, amongst the woods, was so far away from the sports field that it was impossible for the pupils to get there and get back within the dinner hour. Anyway, a little bit of research revealed the range was 800 yards from the sports field, which a lot of the pupils were, which is 800 yards. I checked that out, is about not even half a mile, mate. Not even half a mile. So you could do that walking distance, yeah, leisurely pace, 10 minutes, yeah. A kid running a lot less than that, 5, easy, especially if you see something. Yeah, no problem. So that was another load of crock of whatever, yeah. So, you know, okay, let's think about this now. So she was either lying or her memory's gone. It's one of the two, isn't it? She worked there. She must have known that was in easy distance for the children. And they weren't children as such, they were 11 to 16. And then she tries like deflection tactics throughout the article, saying that the biggest success at the school was the migration pupils that they had. Now, what she meant by that, there was a migration camp, you see, not far from the school, and they had a lot of these pupils coming in from other countries, and they educated them, and that was the real success story. In other words, forget about the bloody UFO. That didn't happen. Yeah. Anyway, so the trouble is, there's a big problem with this. I found out there was no migration camp until 1970, 4 years after the event. Oh dear. That's an issue. So what is she talking about? Next thing, Paul Dean asks her about the missing pupil, which was Tasha, which all the kids reported. And she said, yes, Tasha did leave the school because her parents found work elsewhere, which coincidentally happened just after the incident. She'd become hysterical. And yeah, so that was it, which is fair enough, which is quite a plausible, situation. Only the fact that there was no migration camp until 1974, years after the disappearance of Tasha. Now, some rumours have it, and I'll state this now, that they are just rumours. And some people say that the parents had to put this Tasha, and nobody knew her surname, was actually put into a nunnery. She was so disturbed. Now, that's just conjecture, so I'm just going to leave that at that. But put it this way, this Hazel Edwards couldn't come out with a better explanation. And as for the little green men that they were all talking about, well, none of the witnesses, bar one, talked about any kind of aliens whatsoever. So and I tell you what, yeah, if you actually scroll down to the comments on this document, yeah, so all you guys can see it, you can actually see Shane Ryan has taken huge offence to this woman's article. You can see his comments there and it's quite up to date. This, yeah, he starts commenting back on the 6th of November 2017. So I've actually contacted Shane to ask him a few questions about this, but he hasn't even seen a message yet. So there's one more thing I'd like to move on to, and that's the missing witness in this case. I'm not sure if I've actually put this one down.
I was actually trying to find the Grange on the map here, but I can't see any of the trees, unless that's it there.
Okay, no problem.
You said it's changed since they may have knocked down.
The school's not in the same place as it used to be, apparently. Hell is wrong with this? There we go.
Well, here's a whole area here that looks like a dirt track of some kind. But it looks to me like they've got a circle of trees, and looks like a UFO. UFO
saying, hello, winds are coming from my pipe. Yeah, I know exactly what he means, yeah. High winds are coming from someone's backside.
So obviously they built a playground there with a UFO. that looks like what they saw. So you can see there, it's quite not very deep. So if it's little pilots on it, but I just can't seem to see that on the map here at all anywhere. Oh, here we go, the Grange. Here it is. So the school's, let's see, the school is where on the map? I found it finally. So here's the Grange. So we should be able to see that flying saucer on the map.
Yeah.
Kingston Soccer Club.
Well, there's the Grove, there's the Oval, and there's the school field. I don't know why you're looking at the Grange.
Because that's where it landed, wasn't it? The Grange Reserve. Is that the UFO that's in the picture here? Looks like the same thing. There it is there on the map. So, where was the high school? Grange Reserve. What's all this area here, though? Looks like it's...
The thing is, Paul, I mean, you can mess about with that as long as you like, but it's been established, yeah, that where the children seen it in the sports field was 800 yards away from where it landed. Circular burnt area that they cleaned up.
Which is there. There's the sports area here, club. But we're, oh, here we go. West Primary School's up here. So the school's up here. And the UFO landed down here. 1, 2, 4 streets away. So, was all that part of the school once upon a time here? You see what I'm saying? You reckon it's moved? Well, it looks like they may go down here to play sports. Is it? Were they playing sport at the time, or? But they said come out the classroom and see what's coming down or something, didn't they?
Some of them were in school, and some of them were on the sports field. And I think the pupils on the sports field got there first.
Well, obviously. So these kids must have run across here. This would have been less built up in 66 probably. Probably would have been more. This would have been more like more soccer fields or something, rugby fields down here. Unfortunately, we can't go back in time. Google wasn't around in 1966, which is a bit of a shame because that would have been really handy to scroll back the time with all the satellite photographs.
If you could do that would have been ideal.
Yeah, that would have been really good. But anyway, so where do you want to go to now?
Okay, just the last one, the witness testimony of, oh God, I'll have a look now.
Did you post the link, did you? Okay, you want me to go to YouTube, is it?
Yeah, I've got a few issues with this guy, okay?
So you want to close this web page down now with Shane and Paul Dean on it? We finished with that one?
Hey, close that one down and go on to the one with Derek Wise. The Lost Witness.
Oh, hang on. Is it a YouTube video?
It is, yeah. So I don't know how much of that you can play.
Listen video.
He's convincing, Paul.
So what?
I'm not really sure.
Okay. Whereabouts do we want to go into it to start with? Any ideas?
Do you want to go in about 1 minute to see his introduction on it?
Oops, this one's a lot louder.
After that, I was on a chain and bar, and I actually swung out.
That one's a lot louder.
On the ground and fell. I fell on the ground, and as I fell and went to get back up, I heard a noise in the sky, and the noise was probably like a little bit like a bull roarer that the Aboriginals used to spin, but much quicker. and there was like a clicking and a staticky type affair. And I thought it was quite unusual. So as I looked, I saw 3 silver craft circling the school. And they were, as they were circling, they were going around to the left and going lower all the time. And that was the only time I really seen 3 craft. But I got a bit of a fright and decided to let people know. And I ran straight up to the entrance that Mr. Greenwood had gone in just earlier. And I leaned into a doorway of the classroom and I yelled out, "Oh, these things are in the sky, Mr. Greenwood, these things are in the sky." And I ran back outside the classroom, out the side entrance towards the playground again. And as I ran out, I pointed to these objects, which by this were starting to hover over the Grange, and yelled at some kids at the other end of the sports table that were playing sport or doing something, that there's silver things in the sky. And I was a little bit... what could you say, I felt a little bit strange because I looked back and none of the students or teachers were following me. I thought, well, either they didn't hear me or maybe they're getting ready to come out. So I just thought, well, I'm not missing out, I'm going to go have a look. So I jumped the fence immediately where the swings were, ran across the top of the oval toward the right-hand corner, and I still couldn't see anything, and there was a bit of an elongation where you had to go down to like a flat area. And the barbed wire fence was down along where the flat area was. I crawled under the barbed wire fence, The grass being as high as it was, couldn't see anything. I decided to just only...
You can see the lines going through the image here. That's what you call interlacing. They're meant to de-interlace it before they make it into a normal YouTube video. And of course, you get the black lines going through things. That's the problem I had with Mojo's video when I was doing analysis on it. But yeah, so this is the unknown witness. So what was his name? We might have missed that bit, I think.
The missing witness, yeah.
So he's talking about objects.
Wise.
Okay, he's talking about, what, 2 or 3 objects here, by the sounds of it.
So far.
Which doesn't sound like a balloon again, right? Because you won't get 3 balloons coming down or flying overhead.
Yeah, but all the children kind of said, a lot of the children kind of said that.
Mm-hmm.
So has this guy picked up on it, on the reports later, and fabricated the story? I don't know. It's up to you to listen to this guy and make your own judgment on him, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not going to hang him yet.
Yeah.
I climb a corner barbed wire fence post. I thought maybe if I get on top of that, I'll be able to see what's going on. And there were these supports that come out either side of the post, which made it very easy to climb up. Being barbed wire, it was easy to cut yourself. So I stood up on the post, and as I got up and lifted my body and turned, I saw the craft in the grass, and then within seconds, I saw this door open and these 3 things come out. They had like hoods and capes on, but very fast towards me. I could actually see the grass parting and stopped right in front of me. They were very spindly. They were yellow, more of a grey than yellow, browny colour. Their heads were like almond shaped, very thick forehead, very big black eyes. Their black eyes reminded me of actually a Tom Bowler, like a reporter in there that I used to play marbles with. Being a kid, that's probably what I thought of. The arms and legs were very spindly, 4 fingers, no thumbs. I wasn't so much in fear of them, but I was more so in fear of what they were going to do. And I hear this voice inside my head saying that we're not going to harm you, but you have to come down now. And I thought to myself, I'm not going anywhere with you. You can go jump, so to speak. And the next thing I knew, I saw the guy at the front kind of look like he touched the triangular silver-shaped emblem on his chest, and then they turned almost like automatically and speared off in single file back to the craft. Just as they'd gone in and I saw the door go down, I fainted and passed out and fell onto the inside of the paddock, just on the ground. I wasn't passed out as such, and I was a little bit shook up by falling, and I got up straight away. And as I got up straight away and looked, this craft was actually rising, turning at an angle once it got to a certain height, and then whoosh, took off over the school, virtually back that way. And it was then that I noticed the aircraft that were circling overhead. And I first thought there was only one, and I'm seeing the same one, but then I realised there was more, and they were all the same. And by then, the children and kids and students and teachers were everywhere. Some were milling around where the saucer had landed. I also walked over and was looking, and there was probably about half a dozen students there all looking at this thing. There was some a little bit distance away lying on the ground, and I noticed that the ground was very flat. The grass was a yellowy brown. It was swirled in a clockwise formation. There was also another area that was about 2 feet wide leading off from the circle for some distance, and it wasn't flat, but it was the same colour as the grass in the circle. Anyway, I still remember to this day walking on it and feeling how hard the impression was underneath my feet. But what kind of really amazed me was the tail that led away. When you stood on it, even though the grass was still there, it turned to dust. It literally just turned to dust under your feet. And I kind of had it on my feet and my shoes and tried to get it off. And then a teacher was standing at the top, not far from where these girls were sitting down on the ground, and said, everybody's to go back to the oval immediately. So we did. And as I got up to the top, climbed over the fence like all the others, there's these military vehicles just pulling up with men with fatigues getting out of them. There was 2 jeeps parked in front, and there was an ambulance behind. We were all assembled at the oval not long after that.
And those annoying crows, that's one thing that annoyed me in Brisbane when I lived over there. When you work night shift and you go to sleep in the morning and you got the crows outside the window making that racket, you want to shoot them, but they're protected over there. So I used to throw I used to slingshot some hardboard sweets at them to shoo them off. So yeah, so no one else reported this guy talking to the aliens or seeing the aliens at all, did they?
But having said that, yeah, it kind of correlates with what the other students had seen, where there was someone passed out
Right.
And there was another girl that was surgical, and that was apparently Tanya, who was never seen again.
But he's like the first person on the scene by the sounds of it, and the other students showed up, and after the creatures went back inside, is what he's saying. Is that
That's what he's saying? Yeah.
That's from what I'm taking from what I've heard there, which is possible, I guess. I'm not sure how many minutes was the sources there for. Do we know a timeline?
I think everyone, in those situations, time often kind of stands still. And you look at the Rendlesham case, you look at a lot of these cases over the years where, people have seen craft, they're very unsure of the timeline. And when I seen what I seen, I can't tell you just how long it was there. I wasn't timing it. All I know, it was long enough to make an imprint on my mind. That's all I can be sure of. So I do sympathise with these people. They're not machines. They're seeing something maybe for the first time that they thought was impossible. Just like myself. Incredible. You certainly don't think about photographing it. You certainly don't think about looking at your watch and, what time did it start and what time did it end. It's just one of those experiences. So I guess you have to listen to the witnesses.
Yeah. So where you want to go for this one? This is all on this guy, or does it change? It's the same.
No, this is just our farewell on this case for now, until I find out some more.
Do we need to listen to more of this guy? Or we must just carry on?
Only if you like, or we can move on, Paul.
Some of our students were talking about what we'd just seen and what happened, and we were quickly separated and told, you have to go to assembly, there's some announcements being made, blah, blah, blah. So we went along to assembly, and I don't know who the teacher was, it was probably the headmaster, I don't really remember, basically said that it's all a military exercise, it's very secret, it's important to the military, no one's to say anything, it's just an experimental balloon type of affair and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, I stood there and even though being only 6 years old, I knew straight away that was a lie. And I knew it was pointless telling anybody. They weren't going to believe you because the adults were saying this and you as a child were saying that. So I kind of let it go. And for some reason, we left early that day. Another parent came and picked us up that were going to Westall from East Thomastown. And we were taken back to East Thomastown School. I never went back to Westall, ever. I tried to talk about it to my family, especially my father, when I got home, and I was advised not to. He was very nice about it. He just said it's the sort of thing that you should have to talk about because it's important for security, for military and all this sort of stuff. So, I thought, well, I respected my father, I love him, so I kind of thought it was a good idea. About 2 days later, we were all playing out in the front street in Lansell Court, and these two military guys pulled up in a brand new, big, shiny black Dodge. We all noticed the car, and of course we hovered around to have a good look at it inside and so on, and these guys got out and said, now don't touch it. Now, it wasn't unfamiliar for military to come to our house because my father had not long left the Navy, but I noticed that these guys were dressed in different military uniforms to the regular guys that came. I think they were from memory in blue uniforms, and they weren't at our house very long, probably only 15, 20 minutes.
Blue uniforms.
About half an hour had gone by and they had left, and my father called me back inside. And instead of talking to me in the lounge room or the hallway, he dragged me out into the backyard, right up near the back fence, and basically said to me, you have to promise me you're not going to say anything about what you saw. And I said, I already told you that. I wouldn't say nothing. He said, it's very important that you don't. I said, okay. So, of course, nothing more was discussed. Later in the day, my brother came home from school, and I don't know how much he knew about it or whether Dad had even spoke to him about it, but he kind of pulled me aside later and he said, you're not to say anything about that. And I looked at him, I said, well, how do you know, sort of thing? He said, Dad told me, but you're not the same. I thought, oh, yeah, I heard the first time, So I kind of left what happened there to telling just my immediate friends. And there wasn't any of those that were Westall. Most of them all went to Epping. The students I ended up going to Westall with, I didn't know at all. So I never really seen any of them again.
Can we go back to the...
So, go back to the craft. So, let's go back to the craft.
Can you describe the craft?
Yeah, the craft was silver. It had a bulby type light fare on top. It had like it was like a two-stage thing. It had a top section and a bottom section. it was a very highly polished. You couldn't really make out doors or see anything like that in it. And the one thing that struck me was a little bit odd was the door that when it opened, it never went up, it never went down. It's like the centre went sideways. Mm-hmm. And they kind of come out very quickly. I got the impression that the craft was it was something hot, because I saw kind of heat radiating off it. As far as getting a good look at it, occasionally there was like a bluey, yellowy, greeny hue.
Mm-hmm. And what about the size?
The size? The size was about the size of 2 motor cars. It wasn't very big, it was quite small.
Mm-hmm. What, at length to length?
He doesn't come across to lying, because I'm looking at his body language there and his eyes and all that. And I think...
Video, we can't play it all, we don't have time for that, but I've left the link so the guys can look at it.
Yeah.
And he is worth listening to. But I'm not convinced of him at this point, because the red flag for me is he's the only one who actually seen
the aliens.
Not only that, he takes it quite a lot further into like a whole new abduction.
There is actually another person that has come forward, and the guy's a real crackpot. I've talked about him before in a live. I don't know if I can search it or not, but
you have these people jumping on the bandwagon.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's the same guy. And this guy was given an interview, a presentation, saying that the aliens come back at night time and landed in a field near his house, and they abducted them and took him back to the UFO and did some experiments and something. I'm not sure if I can find it or not. I may have put Westall in there. It's so long ago now, but I think it came out from some Australian research group. So that's our current one. Could it be in this one? No, I think it was older than that. I tell you what, Google search for episodes is pretty sucky. It could be here. It means
always use DuckDuckGo.
No, this is actually using this search to search my own episodes for the keywords.
Oh, YouTube that search. Okay, that's no problem. Just saying to the guys out there, don't use Google. Anything UFO, anything like Fringe, like 9/11, use DuckDuckGo. You'll get far better results.
I think it might have been on this episode here. Fake cases. It'll probably be in the description. Let me just have a quick look of it. Back then I did topics, I think. Let's see. Is there anything there? Sticks out. Robert talked about an orb case. Oh, that was a 5-hour stream. We really went on in those old days, didn't we? Maybe it's not
too long.
Never too long. It depends on what people are interested in, what we have to say. But
you've got to keep things moving on quickly, or people will lose interest. If you
I don't think you were on. I don't think it was on that stream. There was a new witness that come forward. Why can't I find it though? A witness, maybe. Maybe I'll find it later and post it as a comment on the episode when it's done. Oh yeah, if you never watched that one there, the mind tricks, that's a very good episode. So if you do it right, you'll see a apparition of Jesus Christ appear in front of your computer. No joke. That freaks out people.
That was not funny. You caught me out with that one. And that's when we first met.
Yeah, that's when we did first meet. It looks like I'm not going to be able to find it easy, unfortunately. I've done so much now. It's just crazy, and yet hardly anyone watches it. There's a lot of good stuff here. And it's not all debunking either. But I'll try and find it. I think it might have been in the 30s, the live stream 30s. It might have been before I changed over from Hangouts, which was corrupting the graphics. But I'll look for it and post it in the comments at some stage. So another witness, and he's got some crazy ideas that he would leave the house, right, and he would come home and find a hole in the ceiling where someone's actually pulled off the roof tiles and come through the roof into the house, and they were looking for something in the house. And he said he was always targeted. People like Men in Black were watching him, and he was one of these kids that was from the Westall school. I'm surprised you didn't come across it.
I didn't come across that, no, but I would probably written that one off as maybe not too legitimate for the presentation, you know.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it for you and resend it to you, because I think... Yeah. So I'm going to close this one down and post another link now. This one here, is it? So we're moving on from this Westall one onto another school, or... Robert, are we going to the next school now, or...
I've posted the link there.
Yeah, are we going to another school, are we?
Broadhaven.
We're going to Broadhaven now. Okay, so...
yeah.
So what do you want me to do? Read it out, or with the reader?
Okay, can I give a little quick introduction then?
Yep, you can.
Okay, this is Broadhaven, 1977. It was February, pretty cold, doesn't matter. And it was a little school there, Broadhaven School. And there was 14 primary school witnesses to this. 6 of them who seen and drawn occupants. Yeah, and again, there was a little bit of a cover-up, and it was a pretty shitty one at that. Yeah, so if you'd like to just run through that one, Paul, if you can, because if you go to the link, yeah, and scroll down, there's a little bit of video there, which is quite a good introduction, you know.
Yeah, I'll just try to find on the Google Maps so people can see where it is. Broadhaven, Hereford West. Hereford, is that the one? Are we going
no. Way off here in England.
Where is that then?
Hereford West.
Whereabouts are we? What island are we on? Oh, that's England. Wales. There you go. I found it.
There we go. Yeah.
That is the place. Here we go. So we're looking down here. Where's the high school though? Camping Park. What else we got? So we need to find the school. Looks like it's got a hill there.
1977, by the way, guys.
It's right close to the beach. Well, looks of it. Look at the length of that beach there. That's crazy. This should be up the road from.
UFOs and water go hand in hand.
There's Beachview Cottages. Can't see a school. Holiday Park. Looks like a holiday area. That would be up the road from you, wouldn't it?
God, no. I'm in North Wales. That's about 200 plus miles away. And the roads are horrendous, mate.
Was it a primary school there, or just type school?
Yes.
Just a school. Let's see. Okay, it's slightly more south. Here it is. And it's right next to big paddocks, which is good for UFOs. So there's a big paddock there. Look at that. Great area for landing UFO, and also here a wooded area.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do, is read out some of that.
We've also got IVF Brody as well, which is a military base, which is quite close by.
Okay, so how can we put that on the map at the same time?
That.
Okay, let's how do I get the end bit of that? To RF base. What was it called?
HMS Brody.
HMS. I'm not sure. You cut out. You cut out then.
No. HMS IVF Brody, Paul.
Brody, yep. Keldy
IVF.
Barracks. Barracks.
You're not typing in the right thing.
I did search for RF, and that's what it came up with. Oh. It won't let me type it. Where you want me to go? RF Brody. There you go. That's where I was. Because it's 25 minutes away from the school. So there's the school. 25 minutes drive, and probably a lot shorter by aircraft, of course. So there's a long route and a short road here. So yeah, people can now see where we're talking about, and if we scroll out,
that's good.
We'll scroll out a bit. We can. Oh, what's happened there? Keep scrolling out, and opposite is Island, isn't it? There we go, Island over there. So this place is more south of where you are. You're up here, aren't you? Where you're living in United Kingdom.
I'm further north.
Yeah, you're way up here somewhere. Okay, so let's read out some of the article then. Where do you want to start? At the top? I don't think it's going to...
Just start with the video. There's a little video, just scroll down there, and that describes it quite nicely, you know.
The reader's not working now.
Don't you have to use that? Just scroll down and find the video.
An incident that first saw the light of day on the BBC's News Round, a children's news and current affairs show. The Broadhaven UFO sightings soon made progress onto the national news. Even international news stations took an interest in the incident for a time. When the story finally did reach the masses, it was just the tip of the iceberg of the rash of sightings and incidents that would engulf Wales in the late 1970s. Bright, shiny crafts landing in fields, both in the middle of the night and broad daylight. Not to mention various reports of silver-attired humanoid figures, faceless no less.
Okay, we've got some drawings here. Okay, this has got a little fleshy light on top.
Well, what happened, Paul? The children.
So you want me to play? Do you want me to play this news clip here? Close Encounters. Is it a YouTube?
Yeah, please. Can we just talk now?
Hang on. You want me to play this one? I'll just open up the YouTube thing then.
Okay.
I'll just stop that there. Pause. Reload it. What you want to say? While it's loading?
Yeah, the kids were separated after lunch break, and they were all told to draw what they'd seen.
Cool.
The drawings were extremely consistent. Of course, there was variations. There would be. Not everyone's good at drawing, but it was an incredible consistency. Yeah, it was 14 children, 6 of which seen occupants.
Right, so do you want me to play the video now?
Please. Thank you, Paul.
Oh. What have I done? Good question. What have I done? I've gone and clicked on something. Let's see. Alright, here we go. Clicked on the wrong button, boys. Yeah, we'll just get past the intro here.
And we can fix it.
Well, I can, for the time being anyway.
In invasions or tales of abduction, yet a UFO sighting by a group of Pembrokeshire school children remains one of the most famous cases in Wales. It was 40 years ago when a class of pupils at Broadhaven Primary School said they spotted a UFO in a field near their playground. It was one of a wave of sightings in the area in 1977, dubbed the Dive Triangle. David Davis was 10 at the time and heard reports of pupils seeing flying saucers throughout the day. I was a natural-born skeptic, so after the bell rang I decided to go to the area that the children said they had seen it, he told BBC Wales. He described seeing a silver cigar-shaped craft with a dome covering the middle third. My sighting only lasted a couple of seconds. It popped up and then went back behind a tree. Mr. Davis said he did not feel afraid, more in awe and wonderment, although he admitted he had a strange desire to run away. None of the teachers believed the children, and so the headmaster separated them and got them to draw what they saw. There were slight variations, but what they drew was basically the same. Mr. Davis described the days that followed as a wild roller coaster. It went crazy with the media, and it was difficult to settle down and actually think about what we had seen. 2 months later, Rosa Granville, who ran the Haven Fort Hotel in nearby Little Haven, described seeing an object which looked like an upside-down saucer and 2 faceless humanoid creatures with pointed heads. She said so much heat came off it, her face felt burned. There was like...
So the pointy head...
Only funny if you weren't there.
The pointy head thing sounds very much like Pascagoula case, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's other cases as well that correlates with that.
And yeah, I've got to be careful with this one. This is like another UFO channel that we're reading out here.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought there might have been a BBC News thing that we could look at.
Yeah, there is one, you know. If you give me a quick chance to find. Come on, you.
I suppose it's alright if we post his link there to the video so people can re-watch it again, I guess. It's only fair if we're using his video. I see he's got more followers than I have. He's got 23,000.
coming from it and flames of all colors. Then, the creatures came out of these flames. That's what I don't understand, she said. When she visited the field, she said there was 2 inches of burned grounds. Ms. Granville said the incident left her agitated and disturbed. A number of theories have been put forward to explain the sightings. Then MP for Pembroke, Nicholas Edwards, contacted the Ministry of Defence after being inundated with UFO sightings. FLT Lieutenant Cowan, an officer from RAF Brawdy, visited Ms. Granville's hotel and examined the site, but could find no evidence of a landing. He joked, "Should a UFO arrive at RAF Brawdy, we will charge normal landing fees." In his report, he mentioned the possibility that a local prankster was at work in the description of aliens fitted exactly the type of protection.
So, it's not actually really good there. I'm pretty sure there's some better footage that we can find.
You're not going to believe this, but broadband shield, just stop me from looking at the Broadhaven UFO incident. Oh, dear.
Sorry, what's you sort of broke up then on Discord. Maybe you need to drop out and reconnect again, maybe.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just dropped out there a wee bit. What did you? Can you repeat what you said? It sounded a bit robotic to me. I'm not sure if it came out on YouTube all right.
Okay, no, my broadband shield just blocked me from looking into the Broadhaven School UFO incident.
Right, you're saying your virus scanner's blocked you. What do we got down on the side chat here?
There's something here. I'm looking for them.
I think there's a BBC one that's pretty good. BBC Broad Haven UFO. See what we can get. Videos. Because we know it's true. Because the Turd Bros found it. So whereabouts is it? A hotspot, the secret vaults. They reckon it's a hotspot there, UFO hotspot. You're in the wrong location there.
It's called Broadhaven Triangle.
Yeah, I saw that at the top there.
In the 70s and the early 80s, there was a flap.
Defied triangle UFO sighting.
But are we going to concentrate on the school one?
Yeah, just try to find find the old UFO report on it. I think that's the one we're looking at now. Was it BBC? It had to be BBC. 1977, I think.
It was John Craven that covered it. I'm not sure that was BBC. The original announcement. But there you go, it's BBC News there.
Could it be this one here? It looks like it could be. Let's see. It's probably going to get blocked. Your country doesn't have access to it. Is that the one? I suppose. Sorry, here you go. Flash player. Oh, that's really old. So, yeah, don't think it's that one. Well, it could be, I suppose, but we're not sure what else to put in. The Broadhaven, they got it as one word there. MOD probe and the Broadhaven Triangle in Wales. That kind of sounds interesting. Maybe you have to type in school kids, right? School. I'm pretty sure I come across it quite easily before. Maybe it's not on YouTube, maybe it's a regular player. Let's see, Close Encounters. Oh, that's a book. Yeah, we just can't pin it at the moment. I would have thought it was BBC though. Mystery spotted by Welsh students.
Paul, I've just left the link there, pal.
You found it, have you?
I've just left the link there for you.
Yeah, what you want me to do with it? And what's this one coming up? BBC One?
On BBC One.
You reckon it's on this one? Or is it not playing?
In 10 minutes, the last part of Lizzie Dripping Again. That's after today's edition of John Craven's Newsround.
Empty streets in Glasgow today after the threat of a big explosion.
Don't think it's that one. It's got crazy music on it.
Yeah, I just sent you the right one.
He sent me another link. Headmaster, here we go. What's this one? That might be it. Unidentified. Headford West, that sounds like it. So whereabouts does that start? Liquid gas. Human fireball. Sewage clean.
And
Here we
in
go.
the Welsh village of Broadhaven, near Haverfordwest. Whatever it was, spotted 3 times by children from the local school. And now their reports are being investigated by the British Unidentified Flying Objects Research Association. Now, the children say the object had a large dome, it was cigar-shaped, and was silver in colour. Well, to find out more, I've just been on the phone to their headmaster, Mr. Llewellyn.
I know that 16 children saw it.
And did they all see the same thing, do you think?
There's a common core of similarity between all their descriptions. I got them to draw and to write what they saw.
And do you believe it?
I believe that they saw something which is not common in the environment in which they saw it, but whether they've interpreted it correctly, I wouldn't know.
Quite a mystery. Well, from a Welsh school to a school of Wales. They've run ashore in Florida.
Okay, that wasn't much of a report, was it? So what else we got?
That was the first wind we got. I was 11 years old, and I remember it to this day. You know, when it was broadcast, they covered it really well.
Yeah.
And
well, that's
there was no ridicule then, believe it or not. Not in this country, at least.
Yeah.
But you know, the MOD looked at this case very closely. There was documents released about it. You know,
Yep.
I think it was Project Combine. And those documents are available somewhere. But I spent so much time on that Westall case that I didn't really have time for today to produce as much as I wanted. But at least we've given, you know, whoever's listening an introduction to it, and maybe we can do a follow-up in the next show if you like.
Yeah, I might have found it here. So here's some pictures here.
There's easily found photographs, not photographs, drawings of the objects.
14 kids, I think they said, was it?
That's right, yeah.
Oh, here we go. Here's the video. I think this is where the turd bro's got theirs from. So let's see if that plays. Now, looks like we can't speed it up though. So
I saw the spaceship. I didn't see the man. The spaceship, it looked a cigar shape with a dome on it. It had
no, it's not.
a yellowy, orange to red light on the top of it.
How clearly did you see it?
Well, I couldn't see its face because it was too far away.
Oh, you say you saw a man as well, did you?
Yes.
And what about him?
Well, he was too far away to be seen as well.
My friend Philip here was trying to find a way over the stream, and I was looking at the bushes up the top of the trees. And then suddenly this silver cigar-shaped object seemed to pop up from behind the bushes and trying to take off. Then it disappeared again.
Are you sure it wasn't perhaps just a helicopter or an aircraft from the airfield near here?
A helicopter could land there, but that's private property over there. And if they landed there, they could be prosecuted. And with an aircraft, the only thing that could get in there was a Harrier.
Were you frightened at the time?
Yes.
Why?
I thought there would be a whole arm inside there or something.
That's all we got. I thought there was a lot more than that.
No, that is not what I sent you. Yeah, it was a bit more detailed than that, but yeah.
I think that's it.
Sounded a little bit cocky, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, didn't he? Seemed to have all the answers. He probably runs a YouTube channel now that he's older. Okay, so the Watchers. What's this one? The school.
They had Dodgy round the corner, so they would have known what aircraft were about at the time.
Okay, that looks like
we did when kids, you know.
Yeah, that looks like a segment. So you reckon you found the full video of this interview?
Did, yeah.
You didn't post it on the side though, did you? Did I miss it?
I really thought I did. I thought I'd let you the link.
Before or but right now? I think that's the one we looked at. I think that's the one we looked at before. Hang on, we'll probably keep looking. Seems to come out at the same time. BBC UK. 40 years on, remembered. Is that the same video clip though?
See what I can find quickly.
I think it's the same clip. Oh no, it's got some music in front which we've got to be careful of. Oh, here we go. And it's got some crazy music. So I don't think it's got them talking. No. Defied Triangle. Yeah, we've heard that guy. That might be just playing the same bit.
But it was certainly long enough for everything to imprint on my memory. My mother knew a local vet in the area called Randall Jones Pugh, who at the time was the regional coordinator for the British Unidentified Flying Object Research Association. He immediately came down and we went back down to the school to investigate, but obviously by that time it was dark. However, the following day there were some visible indications that something had possibly been there.
I hate it when they put music on.
Yeah, okay, I've just tapped into. I've just given you another link now, Paul.
Yeah,
this is quite poorly made because it's Broadhaven is very windswept place, and unfortunately, like when they were making the video, it was windy and yeah, you can hear it through the mic and that. But these are the guys. They're going back now after the school years. They're adults now, and they've had this little reunion.
Could it be this one here? Looks like
it's well worth playing.
Looks like it's this one here that you're talking about.
Yeah, just give me the link on
the schoolyard conference. I think it might be the same one as what's on this page here. That's what I'm saying. I think a lot of people are going to copy each other, you see. Is it the same one? Yeah, conference is the same one that's on the other page. Oh. Don't want no sound effects. Thank you. You know how crazy the copyright trolls are. Part 1.
Yeah, right.
It's very quiet.
Yeah, no, the children that they sort of feel the area up the top.
Have we got caps on this?
No, I mean, like I said earlier, I don't do comments, so I'm staying in.
It's not picking up anything.
Yeah, it's just like the best way to go with this case is documentary evidence rather than video, you know.
Oh, this is terrible.
Yeah, that's
sorry. I wouldn't advise going too much closer because
there we go. We've got some caps now.
The wind is making them hyper.
The area in which the other children had seen the UFO was around about this area, and reports have been coming in throughout the day that they've been seeing this object, which, like I said, I didn't believe one bit. So at the end of the day, I came up from my classroom, which was around about there, and walked up to the perimeter fence, which is a bit higher now than it was. It only used to stand about yay high. Started looking, there was nothing in sight whatsoever. So I started to get over the fence just at the top there, and as I was about halfway over, one leg either side of the fence, you'll see, it's a bit difficult to see because these small trees around the perimeter are starting to mature a bit now, but you'll see a large clump of trees at the back there, just before you reach the top of the hill. From behind those trees, that's where the object surfaced. Now, still sort of halfway across, I was just in total amazement, but like I said before, that's when I felt the urge to run, and ran all the way down here to the taxi that was waiting to take us home.
Was it actually moving upwards or steady, or when you saw it, or was it off the ground, on the ground?
It came up seemingly from behind the trees. Now, there was a slight sway in motion to it. Very little motion forward, but there was a slight sway.
Oh, terrible.
I've been going to say it seemed like it was stuck.
We can't really hear what he's saying now.
Because it seemed to be some sort of resistance. Now, as I turned, I know it went down again. I actually sort of, as far as I know,
you know, the caps don't come up. It must be poor quality.
There's a correlation there between the first incident and this one. You know, using the trees to cover for some reason. And you know, on both occasions, whatever was controlling that, we'll call it a UFO. You know, seemed to be kind of trying to make it as clandestine as possible. You know, neither of them exactly landed in the yard of the school, did they?
Well, let's see if we can find the drawings that they did.
That would be interesting, yeah, because they are good.
Okay, we've got the usual ones so far, we're saying.
There you go, there you go.
We've got one that's a round one. I don't think that would be the same place. National Archives. They all got the similar shape, haven't they? Looks like the titty. It doesn't look like a Mexican hat sort of thing. It looks more like a tit. Oh, no.
The only primary school at the end of the day, yeah.
What's this one? The pointed ear thing. So that's one person drew that one.
We all reported.
That's a better quality one there. What's that in his hand? It's got some laser gadget. Oh, it's even got an antenna. Looks like it's in his hand. Doesn't quite look like the Pascagoula androids.
Not quite.
No, that kind of looks more like a Catman or something, or Batman. So what else have we got here? Oh, we got this one here, which looks similar. Yeah, he's definitely got something in his hand there. So I guess another student drew that one. I wish we could have them more together, then we'd know. Then got this crazy one. Cylinder UFO with a dome on top, which is different to what they've drawn here.
You'd expect that. You wouldn't expect them all to come out exactly the same.
What else we got here? So we've seen those two repeated a few times. Is that the same one? Not sure. Looks like it could be. It's a problem with Google search. Sometimes it mixes it up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
There's another one. That one's got a ladder on it. What else we got? We've got this black and white one, which we can't zoom in on, I don't think. We can sort of zoom on it. Bit hard to see though. See if we can get a bigger view of it. Folklore. Children's playground. There we go, that's a better view. Okay, so what are we looking at here? He's got his one upside down, I think. Can't see the one with the pointed ears. Is that a pointed eared one there? It's a bit hard to tell.
Yeah.
What else?
Reminds me of the case in the United States, you know, during the 60s, where these things well, it was almost an invasion, and they emptied, good God, all kinds of rounds of ammunition at them. The family of 12 or 13, 14 people were staying there at the time. Dan, I just cannot remember the location now to find it. But they came up with aliens that were actually extremely like those that these children seen, you know.
You're picking up that buzzing sound again. You haven't got a mobile phone near your microphone by any chance, have you?
I keep that well away. That's it, actually, in my bedroom. It's well away from me, you know.
Definitely picking up some EMF signal there into your microphone. Okay, so I didn't actually see many drawings, unfortunately. What's that one there? Let's have a look at that one. Daily Mail. I think we might have been there before already. 40-foot long UFO. Oh, what's that playing there? I hate things that pop up and start playing. There's the picture again. There's that same interview. Drawings that we've seen already. And that's them older, which we saw in the other video. 1 of 3. I suppose they've written books, some of them. Now that's it on that page. Pretty useless. You think it'd be better documented, more documented on this one? What's that one there?
Yeah, you would, but there we go. It was middle of nowhere. You would think that were Wales, isn't it?
Okay, what's that one there? Oh, that's the next school we're going to talk about. Ariel school. They did some really good drawings too. Well,
John Mack investigated that.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Maybe we could try pictures instead of drawings. Doesn't seem to have improved the research. I mean, the search, not research. I think we've seen all those. And it's mixing in the Australian one. And ET and all sorts of other search results here. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not getting the same results as I used to, you know, on on YouTube.
No. It's a shame we can't see all the 14 drawings in one go, you know.
I know, so we could put them side by side.
Yeah, see what the comparison is.
Knowledge.
That one's been debunked, by the way. I did an episode on that one. That apparently is her mother walking up the hill behind them when they took the photograph, and that's actually the back of her hair under a white hat, believe it or not. Someone got hold of the original negative and scanned it in and blew it up and put it through photo analysis. It's in one of my episodes if you haven't seen it. That was called the something Spaceman one. What was it called? Solo something or other. Can't remember what it was called now. Hollow Man, Spaceman, something like that. Yes, so that's it for the photographs, unfortunately. So you want to talk a wee bit about the Ariel school, and or you want to leave it there?
To be honest, I'd rather do the Ariel one when I've done a little bit more research on it, you know. And there's also another case that I'd like to put side by side with, you know, the case we've just looked at now in Haverfordwest.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, which is Haverfordwest, same region, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. So if there's anything you want to talk about, Paul, then go ahead.
No, I'd be happy to wrap it up for the night. It's 1 o'clock in the
Yeah,
morning
okay.
here. But yeah, I thought we might just talk about the Ariel school, just to mention it here for next time.
Definitely.
Zimbabwe's Great Alien Invasion. Just trying to find an interesting article here. Talk about it. Ariel school UFO encounter. Let's have a look at that one. It's probably one of the most better documented one, and of course it's going to be let's look at it's a podcast. It's going to be in that new movie that James Fox is making. What's that called? 9/11 or something? Not 9/11. 707 or something. Apparently it's number of unknown Blue Book cases, but they've changed the name of it now, so they're not going to call the movie that anymore. School Innocent podcast. So you can see everyone's done lots of podcasts on that one. Just can't find. Maybe there's a Wikipedia on it. Maybe it's this one here, is it? War. How do you say that word? Ruva. Whatever that means.
What? Go back.
Rua is a town.
Yeah, it's Zimbabwe.
Yeah. It's in a series of small administrative UFO sighting in 1994. Was it 1994? I thought it was a bit older than that.
That's right. I was doing them in chronological order. You see, 1966, 1977, and I was going to leave this one.
I'm with you. Some of approximately 60 students involved in the sighting also reported a strange being communicated with them. Was it really that many students?
Yeah, there was there. You know, but don't forget, there was over 200 in Westall.
So we haven't actually found any decent links to describe the story.
I think I found a few in the past, so we'll leave that until the next one, Paul.
Yeah. I just want to touch on it.
You know,
just want to touch on it. So, when you're likely to do the next one, same time next week, or?
We could do it on my Saturday night.
I normally do a Sunday one though, you know.
Yeah, that's my
Saturday. Sunday? I was going to do something different then. Suppose we can, but you know, I normally do it.
You do the first hour
I normally do a Sunday one in the afternoon, which would be too late for you. That would be like 3 in the morning Saturday, and you want to do it sooner.
No, I might be good for if you can make it around about 1 to 2 on Saturday.
I think we should just make this at the same time next week. I think that's probably easier, and just let this do something different on Saturday night for America, which is Sunday. I think that might be the thing. So what was this one? 1994 teachers and school officials, Wara, Zimbabwe. 62 students, here it says. What's this one here? Is that one of the aliens they saw? I remember there was something strange about it, because didn't Martin Willis did an interview with one of the girls that come out to America to do, and she talked about the alien creatures. There was something different about it. I can't remember what it was now. But yeah, we can talk about that next time. You can put your links together. But we can finish off this thing here with the Broadhaven conference. I'm not sure if it's any good though. The quality of the sound was pretty rubbish.
But they've been worked on that telegraph pole a few days before.
In the middle of the field down there.
Now, they've been worked on that telegraph pole. Apparently they put new insulators in and a new cross piece.
Yeah.
Now, the cross piece was tilted at about an angle of about 45 degrees. No explanation has ever been offered. The electricity board or whatever were contacted, and obviously they stated that they'd done some work on it. Now, I can't say that was a physical result of the vehicle being there, but there was no other explanation that they could offer. As far as they know, they put it up straight. But I didn't see at all whether it had touched or.
And this craft though was near that post, or to the right.
Slightly to the left, behind the clump.
Well, show us.
You see, just past the post, just about halfway up. Yeah.
Ah, okay. When you were talking about it being.
Hey guys on the site, how's it going?
Having trouble taking off for some reason. That's why it went back down.
Yeah, it's all going good. So we've been doing 2.5 hours now. You're a wee bit late joining the party.
Now, I'm not too sure if the movement was as a result of whatever precaution these things use, but there was seemingly, to my knowledge, or to the best of my, to the best of how I could work out, it did seem as if there was some resistance as the vehicle.
It's not the best recordings, is it?
But
it's true. It's just going to be between the lines and trying to understand what the guy's saying. And of course, he's got pretty heavy, thick Welsh accent, which even like difficult to understand the mind. So it's not easy for people listening.
He looks like someone. Yeah.
It wasn't well planned.
He looks like someone that would be, like in one of those medieval castle fight scenes. Something from like Game of Thrones.
I do think that is really unusual.
Yeah. Do you know what I was thinking? Yeah. Same time next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you want? Yeah. What do you want to cover? Yeah. What do you want to cover next week? This one more in detail, or just go into the Ariel school one?
In a bit more detail, because I've got a correlation to another event in that, if I could only damn find it now.
Right.
The aliens, those children seen,
right.
The aliens that were seen on the other side of the world.
Okay, well, you got a week to do it then.
Then we can quickly move on then to the very Yuan case, yeah?
Yeah.
As in Zimbabwe, which Sean Matt covered. Yeah, that'd be fantastic, Paul.
Okay, the sound's got better here. Cowboys and Indians.
There's sci-fi, and as I said earlier, I had a love of sci-fi, but my love of sci-fi was the same sort of stuff that I like now, where it looks forward at a possible future for ourselves, not the sort of sci-fi that involved invaders from Mars coming down in flying saucers and wiping us out and all. So my imagination, as limited as it was, I've never been really that imaginative. It wouldn't have extended to that sort of scenario.
There was a woman in the village told us that she was adamant that all the boys made it up after seeing Alicia White over
information. The night before, there was a bit of like about UFOs. And you got the idea from that.
Now, I heard that comment as well.
But then the woman in the pub said, "Oh, don't listen to her. She wouldn't believe the Grim Reaper if it stood in front of her."
Now, right. Another one, which was being bandied around, was that some locals had been seen carrying a rocket-shaped object up the road past the school. And it's a dead end, and that's a footpath that you cannot drive up there at all. Yeah, but there's no way you can get there with make that within car. But
so is this guy charging all these people $10 a head to do a lecture on what he saw?
I don't think so. It's just get together, you know. They're not like that in that part of the world, Paul.
They're not driven by money.
What she was actually referring to was a couple of days after
don't find Nick Pope turning it, put it that way.
The kids expect. And we came in one morning about this rocket-shaped object in the school field, about probably about 15 feet long, red. Now, it was said that this was supposed to have been the impetus for the story. However, what it was the local haulage contractor, having a giggle, had taken a very expensive long-range fuel tank off a jet aircraft that he was selling government surplus, and decided to plant it here as a joke because we'd seen the object.
This information.
He was intending on having it back a couple of weeks later after the joke had gone around the area.
See a water droplet on the screen here. That's a UFO, boys. I'm joking.
It stood over in the corner. Those aliens, it stood over there in the corner for many years. Similar to what was described in 1967, which is only 10 years before, in the Allagash abductions.
Yeah. What have we got?
Then we can cover that on the next one. You do your own thing on your Sunday Live, and I'll be with you same time next week.
Well, you probably
I'll try and join you.
My Sunday Live, I've actually got some interesting stuff queued up. I'm going to look at the Roswell UFO compared to William Rhodes sighting, and his sighting to Arnold. What's his name? Arnold. Kenneth Arnold, yeah. So I'll be doing that this Sunday.
24th, 1947, yeah.
Yeah, so that would probably
was a crescent-shaped craft, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I could start it. I could start it earlier than 1 p.m. if I'm up. I might be able to start at 11 o'clock, which make it about maybe 1 o'clock or midnight for you.
Yeah, I'll kick the minutes out.
Saturday midnight for you, I guess it would be.
Yeah, that's not bad because it's unlikely that I'll have, and it doesn't matter. They can have a few hours with me before I decide to leave them.
So I want to compare.
Too tight, Paul.
Yeah, apparently Kenneth Arnold actually saw two different UFO shapes, so I'll be talking about that. And
swans and ship.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and they all seem to be roughly around about the same sighting time, and the Roswell crash happened the day after. So
no, it was around. No, he sighted them on June the 24th. Yeah, the debris from the Roswell crash was found on July the 3rd, and it was July the 8th of the same year that they actually announced they'd captured a flying disc. Or I think recovered a flying disc.
Well, if you have a look at... I'll go over it, but if it... On July the 7th, William Rhodes saw a very similar UFO to what crashed at Roswell. Now I just come across this information today, which I thought I would look more into and do a comparison on the screen and all that sort of stuff to what they said was crashed at Roswell. Because remember, people started drawing this really weird shaped craft that looked very German-like experimental craft, and there was actually some pictures that almost looks identical to this guy, what saw in the sky. I reckon there's some pictures of them carving up one of these German Nazi experimental craft after World War II and shipping it off to the United States. They cut it up and then reassembled it. So I got some information there. I'll go over it with you if you want to join me. if you're not too drunk like last time. So yeah, we'll go over that one. Yeah, so this one here
wasn't drunk last time, just tired, but I was drunk the night before, so I couldn't make it.
Okay, I thought you said you were a bit hungover. So yeah, hangover.
Hungover.
Yeah,
hungover
okay.
and drunk are two different things.
You need to drink more water. Yeah, okay.
Didn't help that day.
Alright. Oh well, whatever. Well, drunk, what do you call it? Hangover from the day before. So, what I was trying to say anyway, but prior off to school. So, what time do you normally get together with your mates? Saturday night, is it? Or Friday night?
Yeah,
Friday night?
More likely to come on a Friday, so I should be good to go on Saturday night.
Okay, we'll see. You'll let me know. So yeah, we'll probably
Sunday.
we'll probably wrap it up there. But we've got more people watching now, as always. When we get near the end of the stream, we have more people joining us. Unfortunately, the max watches we've had so far is, according to this, is 19 playbacks. So people jump in, watch 5 minutes, and then go away again. So, which is a bit unfortunate. I think I even started out with 48 subs, 48 subs. So it's a bit hard to believe that I've only got that many subs in almost 3 years coming up now. Be in November will be 3 years. So other people start their channels and they get that easily within 6 months. So definitely Google is crippling my channel.
You have to understand ufology is a niche market. It's if you start a music channel, you're going to get subs very quickly.
Well, if you follow the pop culture, yeah, for sure. But
yeah, exactly. And even YouTube's of driving around, and photography. If you open up a channel, that does photography and that kind of thing, it's so popular that you're going to get lots of subs in no time, as long as you're doing kind of the right thing. But with ufology, if you want to call it ufology, I don't even know what ufology is. I often hear the term ufologist, and it's quite often defined as a UFO expert. I mean, that's complete and utter bullshit, because how could you be an expert on something you don't even understand?
I'll just read out this bit about the Celtics here. That sounds quite interesting. See what it's saying here. Try that. Talking about the bloodline or something of abductions.
Celtic people, including Welsh, are targeted for abduction. Hill reporter claims she has been abducted by aliens several times over a period of many years. What's more, she also claims that people of Welsh descent are particularly targeted by extraterrestrials. Further to that, they are doing this in order to establish a genetically engineered alien-human hybrid. Porter believes that the Celtic bloodline is easier for them to achieve this. One interesting side note here, there is also many reports of high UFO activity in Scotland. This is another part of the world where the Celtic bloodlines are strong. She also believes to have isolated a precise spot where many of these abductions take place, on a particular stretch of road that runs from Swansea to Cardiff. Perhaps even more worrying, Porter states that governments are fully aware this is happening, but are powerless to stop it. She also asserts that this program is not at all for the benefit of the human race. Porter claims that those who recall spiritual experiences with aliens are simply experiencing false memories. These memories implanted by the aliens themselves ultimately hide their true end game.
Well, so there you go. If you go to Swansea there, somewhere on that road, you might get abducted.
Well, I mean, the Celts generally in Ireland, Wales, and Scotland, in England, they come from like a more of a Germanic bloodline, Scandinavian bloodline. But yeah, Scotland especially, home with Loch Ness Monster. But there's an awful lot of good sightings that go and reported there, an awful lot. So much, so as much in Wales and as much in Ireland, because there's no. If you've seen UFO in Wales, and it was all close up and personal. There's no reported network in this part of the world. Now, me and you are fortunate enough to be well connected, and we can get in touch with people because we've got a good, network of friends in this field. But not everybody has that. There's no MUFON in Wales. There's no MUFON in Scotland. There's no MUFON in Ireland, or anything that even comes close to it. Not that I have a great deal of respect for MUFON, but these people, they just suffer in silence. They just talk to their experiences, of their experiences.
Are you
between
sure?
their friends. They have no choice.
Well, you could be a MUFON representative, what they call it, a MUFON chapter. They wanted me to be
that organisation, Paul. Nothing to do with that. But I'm Robert George Farmer. I can be found on Facebook, and if there's anyone out there, in the UK that wants to get in touch, I can tell you now that I'd be happy to receive any reports, and it will be confidential as well, unless you want otherwise.
Well, UK is a big place, so that's where Swansea is. Where was that UFO thing? Over here somewhere, wasn't it? Let's see. Over this side. So it's not too far.
The Broadhaven Triangle stretches like 20 miles, and as I said, there was a series of reports during the 70s, 80s, and apparently it's still going. I was talking to a guy from Barry, and he's down that way. I think that's South Wales-ish. And I bought some UFO magazines off him, and he was telling me about his sightings, I asked him if he got any more stuff, and he says, "No, all I've got left is the sightings I had in my memory. I'm afraid they can't give you to them." So I says, "Come on, spill the beans." And yeah, he told me a little bit of stuff but it was nothing too dramatic. But there's an awful lot of people in these out-of-the-way places.
I'm just laughing at this Mirror title. UFO expert says alien spying on nudists. This has got to be a joke. UK rag thing, surely.
Oh, don't trust the Express, don't trust the Mail, don't trust the Mirror. Anything UFO in them, is absolutely guaranteed to be a hoax. And one day they'll report something that's true, and everyone will laugh it off. That's the
word. So what's this here? Someone throwing a hubcap through the air. I wouldn't trust anything on that rubbish website. But Secure Team seems to get his stuff put up there quite a bit.
Oh, never mind him. We all know what he is. No offense to anyone.
So I was just watching Nick Pope on a UFO show today called might as well just talk about it. UFOs, the Lost Evidence. That's probably one of the worst UFO things I've seen. It's got Dolan on it. It's got this so-called MUFON UFO expert that couldn't tell whatever he was looking at was fire balloons. So I posted it on my Twitter account there. There's a thing, the thing called Puerto Rico. You might remember that thermal images that the Home Security did. Well, we did some analysis on it, and you could see clearly it was two what you call fire balloons, heart-shaped fire balloons that were tied together and released. If you look at the air currents, it was released from a beach where the wedding party was. And even Mick West had a look at it in a lot more detail than I did, but I could see it was clearly heart-shaped balloon shapes there. And they were saying, "Oh no, it's changing shapes." Oh, of course it is, because the balloon was rotating, so it was changing shapes, and it was deforming as well with the air current. But yeah, Lost Evidence. It was just shocking. There was some good stuff on it, but on the same episode, episode 6, I think it was.
This is it. I'm not telling anyone to stop watching that kind of stuff because, excuse me, you may get out of a, 40-minute episode. You may get, 5 minutes of something that's of interest, something that's not padding, if you like, something, that's worth looking at and kind of, researching a little bit further yourself. So I'm not saying that these shows are all bad. It's just these shows that pop up with Dolan, Nick Pope.
Well, it's the talking heads.
They're not really worth it.
Nick Pope. I've got the feeling that Nick Pope doesn't know what he's talking about. He just repeats stuff that he's heard, but he hasn't got any clue to analyze videos or photographs like I have. And
the thing was, he was just a second-rate clerk for the MOD.
So he was basically a receptionist.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and what they done, they moved him into, I think it was it was Air Force 2A. That was his desk, and it was a UFO desk, and he ran that from 1991 to 1994. So I'll tell you what he had at his disposal. Yeah, a telephone. Yeah, and a secretary. And he calls himself the Mulder of the UFO world. Do you know what I mean? But he didn't have a Scully. So, okay, you had anything that needed analysing, like a photograph, he had that at his disposal. He could have the photograph analysed, but he never left that desk and went out to investigate one single case. Not one. And we always suspected at that time, and Nick Redfern was a UK researcher who lives in the States now, I believe. He was the first to click on that there was no way that the MOD just had Nick Pope investigating UFOs. And Nick Pope was in complete denial. He was questioned by a lot of people about this. Jenny Randalls was one, Nick Redfern was another, and Nick Pope, no, if there was any other investigation going on, I would know about it, or I would have heard about it. He was so damn arrogant. And my God, a few years later, in 2000 and something, was it 7? I'm not really sure now. All the documents were released from Project Condign, which showed there was a much bigger UFO investigation going on that Nick Pope didn't know jack shit about.
Yeah. And if you look through his tweets here, you can see he's just following the same old news that's being propagated around on the mainstream media. And he just follows it around, Area 51.
Yeah.
He hasn't put up anything that's really...
He's got a lot of contacts in the UFO community, there's no question of that, and he's probably got his finger on the pulse.
But he hasn't put up anything. He hasn't put up anything edgy or something that's something different to what's been already circulating around.
No. Goes to the flow. He's always done that. He goes the way the wind blows.
Yeah, he plays it. He plays it safe.
Likely, he talks that UFOs. He takes a skeptical approach. Then all of a sudden, TTSA comes along, and they're saying UFOs are real. Now Nick Pope is following on, and he's saying, UFOs are real as well. TTSA are really good people. Blah blah blah. Let's run with it.
Yeah.
This guy is a phony. The guy is a phony.
Yep. You won't hear that on Open Minds.
I got banned from there for saying that.
Me and Robert almost banned from every UFO group out there.
I'm only banned from about 10.
Yeah.
I'm on all the best ones.
And I found I was banned from Reddit today because of something I posted before Christmas. Hate speech, apparently. I'm not sure what the hate speech was, but I think I was quoting Tyler's thing about Angry Truth Seeker that made that comment that Angry Truth Seeker said he wants to show his mouth shut or something like that, and I might have repeated something like it. So I got banned, for quoting something probably. I don't really care. I don't know. I think really a lot of the UFO cult out there that follow these frauds online report my stuff. So I ended up a lot of my posts go to spam now because they put me in the spam filter, and they've tried to report me lots of times, as you know, and I've always won. I've had UFO Man try to get me, and I failed. Security team is about the only one that's been clever enough to ignore anything I'm putting out there about him, because he knows he would be the loss. He would lose from it all. So here you go. You're talking about.
At the end of the day, Paul, me and yourself, we're trying to get, what we'd like to say. We're trying to get as close to the truth as we possibly can. Maybe we're not doing the best job, but we're not trying to deceive anybody.
No.
You can see by the way the shows are presented, we're not trying to deceive.
No.
We're not looking for any profit or gain. But there's so many people in the game now. I mean, Jeremy Corbell, reinventing Bob Lazar. I'm sorry if you believe in Lazar, I just don't.
Okay, if you go to Corbell's Twitter, you'll see it's all a self-promotion. But if you go to my Twitter page, I'm always promoting all sorts of things about the UFO thing. So you go to my page, you hear about everything pretty much. Anything that's good, I'll put up there. I won't repeat the same TTSA stuff, blah, because everybody's already doing that, I wanted to give more edgy stuff, and stuff that, like we did tonight. We've done that UK school, which is probably a rare case. No one's talking about that in 40 years, although the newspapers put it out there. I haven't seen many.
I've got contacts that I can that live in that part of the world, Paul, that I can get in touch with. I'll do that today, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeremy
we'll go that a week today then.
Already I had an insult on one of my latest ones with the David Adair thing that I broke down, saying, well, if this guy was genuine, I replied to him, I said, if this guy was genuine and he had a photographic memory, he would be able to rebuild his fusion-powered rocket that he built when he was 17 years old and demonstrate that it actually works, right? And that would be... Now, this guy goes to the Contact in the Deserts thing, which is a total crock of bullshit. And they all go there to promote their books and crystals and all that thing and make a lot of money from it. So cool, Bill.
Yeah. Or you go there to find your new wife.
Well, she'll be a bit of an airhead, though. Some people get caught up there. So here we go. He's mucking around with like a, what is it, LPG or something, and a nozzle. Is that Bob Lazar or something? Or was that? Oh no, that's him. You can see the beard. Don't catch your beard off. We were joking about that before. Liar, liar, beard on fire. And here he is with a flamethrower. If you join me and Robert's chats about people in the UFO community, you'd kill yourself laughing. There he is. He's taking the piss out of Elon Musk's flamethrower. He's got actually a big cylinder thing here.
What in the pit?
Yeah. So he's promoting all the same stuff. Area 51, blah blah. Area 51, blah blah. So he's trying to get there to document it, right? Make some money from it. What else we got? This thing here. I think I covered that in a couple of lives back about these pictures. That I said it actually looked like it was people standing around a fire pit of some sort rather than a UFO, and the light coming around was around some other thing in the middle. I think it looked like effigy or something that they put up, like a wooden mask thing. So yeah, claiming it to be UFOs, it's really subjective, I find. So yeah, but he's claiming it to be ancient aliens again. So he's trying to go for the ancient alien tag, right? There's another group of people that really piss me off in the UFO field. I don't know what you think about ancient aliens. I think you have the same viewpoint as I do. Giorgio and well, that's David Childress. Every time I listen to him, I almost want to vomit into a bucket, because I know what's going to come out of his mouth is, of course there's aliens.
I always said on the comedy.
It's a UFO field is through.
It's so good. It introduces stress. You don't need that.
So
just
what's he?
Take it as a laugh.
Here's Jeremy playing around with his organ. Is this the one that Stanford Freeman used to play? He used to play, didn't he? Was it Stanford Freeman? No, it wasn't him. Dr. Lear. Dr. Lear. Sorry, I got the wrong person.
Oh, John Lear.
No, Dr. Lear used to play the organ. If you ever watch this documentary, the implant surgeon used to play in the church the organ. Oh, here we go. He's promoting the same thing that security team is punching around. What else we got here? Same thing that Nick Pope had. What is that thing? Bob Lazar, Storm, Area 51, blah blah. Same old rubbish Corbell. What's this one? Storm, Area 51, next post. I think we've been like 20 posts now. I-Team, exclusive, Area 51. Live, Area 51, still going. Alright, it might have something different here. Oh no, Area 51. 20 posts so far. Area 51, still going. This guy...
I mean, it's appealing to children in this field, isn't it, really? Yeah. People who are just introduced into this field, they want something sensational to grab hold of. What's that going to be, you know?
Well, I always thought this guy was after money as soon as he put out a 10-minute... I don't think it's even 10 minutes. A 10-minute video on Nano Man that's called... what's it called? Nano something rather. He was charging $5 just to watch a 10-minute movie, and I thought, you got to be joking, mate. You should be putting it up on YouTube so it's open for everybody to have a look at this information. And the whole thing is a crock of BS. I don't know if you've seen it. The guy was making all these claims, but there was no evidence in it. They weren't proving that there was actually nano things in the tube that he had, and it was just a load of rubbish. So it was more like a clickbait video that he was trying to get people to pay for. I don't know if they can get a refund once they've bought it on those particular channels. Daily Motion, is it? So again, he's still going on. Area 51, it's just going on and on and on. Area 51, Area 51. He's like a parrot, a UFO parrot.
You know, what can he actually tell us about
Area 51?
Yeah.
Yeah, hang on.
You know, asking about the Pascagoula case, he's going to go, don't know about that one. Asking about anything else, he's going to do the same.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy is a complete muppet.
Yeah.
And he's Bob Lazar as a cash cow. He's really against him. I'll just lose it.
Who's that guy again? He's a pop singer in UK. What's his name?
Oh God! No, I think you're talking about
Robbie Williams. Robbie Williams.
Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There they are, the threesome.
Yeah, he was on the sighting, but the thing is, he was, you know, the guy was in. Okay, what he's seen may have been real. I don't really know, but he's seen a UFO that was enormous over London as he was leaving the flat after a party, and we all know he was heavily into cocaine and other substances. He's seen this huge UFO that he reckons he could throw a stone at. Yeah. In the middle of London. There's only one problem here. Nobody else seen it.
Yeah. So now he's plugging his Bob Lazar thing. Bob Lazar.
I mean, if there's no other witnesses, there's no corroborating evidence, then you have to put that down. He may have actually believed what he's seen, but we've got no evidence to suggest it was there, because nobody else is saying they seen it.
Yeah.
And you know how populated London is. My God,
yeah.
It's a metropolis.
Yeah.
Even at night, it's a metropolis. There's people everywhere.
Yeah.
This huge, enormous UFO was almost head high, and nobody else seen it. So I think you have to take that kind of case with a pinch of salt.
Yeah,
he was relaying that.
He really enjoyed this one where he got to sit in the back of the sports car and just go through the parade and wave at people like a president. Corbell's just soaking this up. So this is Captain Fravor, right? He should have stayed away from these two guys. He got less credible.
I still think his reports are genuine.
Oh yeah, it's definitely genuine, but
he needs to stay away from those guys because it's going to destroy his credibility in the end.
That's what I was going to say. He needs to stay away from those two, because they're out to make money off him, obviously. But yeah, he's in this back of this car like he's like a celebrity now, right? It's just great.
And I mean, even George Knapp over the years now.
Yeah.
George Knapp has done a great deal for ufology over the years. As a journalist, he's a damn good journalist. There's no doubt about that.
Mm.
But I think he's been sucked in by Bob Lazar and his story, and he must have realised at some stage where Lazar was apparently showing him pictures of this autopsy thing. He claimed that he was part of this autopsy in some way or other, and now he's changed it. Changed the story completely. You know, so those people that say that Lazar's never changed the story, I'm sorry, that's disingenuous. He really has changed the story, and he's changed it.
Mm-hmm.
He's changed it radically, you know, and you know, people need to take note of that before they get too sucked in by this guy, you know.
Yeah. Well, alien scientists start up this website here. Bob Lazar debunked, and he said just promote it to everybody that's new to the Bob Lazar thing. Oh, debunk. I should put debunked. Here we go. I'll put debunked here. How come it hasn't come up? So he's being suppressed as well on the search results. And I suppose you've got to type it up here. Looks like it's there though. Let's see if we can get to it. Whose page is this? He's posted it there, has he? It looks like a group that we haven't joined. So I guess his website promotion's there somewhere. It looks like there's a lot of different links here, actually. I wonder who runs that one.
What's it called, Paul?
Sorry?
What's it called? Hold on, I'm not on the right page.
It's called the Renderson UFO. Don't know if you can get to it or not. Does that work? Doing it that way?
I'm not that one, no. There's been a lot of problems with Shim as well. I mean, Larry Warden was the guy who, you know, triggered this all off, and that's about the only good thing he done, because he was the first person that actually related it to the public. But he jumped on the bandwagon and made up a whole bunch of lies, and now we've got Gary Heseltine, the UK's self-proclaimed best UFO researcher, who's pregnant with Larry Warren.
Oh, here we go.
Doing this new documentary, and yeah, it's just a load of shit, basically.
Okay, so where can I paste that link? Okay, so this is Alien Scientist page that is putting together to debunk
that's a good article, that, and it completely his physics do not work. I mean, I'm not a physicist. I only have a basic understanding of science, but you know, and it's quite amusing as well that Jeremy Corbell says he spoke to 8 physicists who all said that element 115 is a workable method of transportation or propulsion. Sorry, yeah. Well, he failed to name even one of those physicists. So, once again, we only have his word for it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think they was talking about S4.
It's disturbing and it's troubling.
Okay, S4 means Site 4, not Section 4. I said that last time, so I'll just correct that. You're cutting out when I talk for some reason. I don't know if it's coming out on the stream like that. I think he's created a video, which I'm not sure if it's posted here at all. Seems like a long page. At least he needs to format it a lot better, doesn't he? He needs to break it up into radiation, S4, gravitational waves, and all that sort of stuff. Is that the thing here? Countdown to destruction. Is that the one that he's just put out recently? Let me just have a look. Oh yeah, looks like I got halfway on it.
Look at Joe Rogan goes down. Look at this shit.
Looks like it's going to the wrong speaker.
July 1973 edition of Radio Electronics. Right here, folks, is the hands.
Yeah, I'll just scroll back to it.
You know, depending on what your job is.
No, that's not the one. I'll see if I can find it on my Twitter page. It's quite worth looking to have a look at. Where's mine? I did reshare it, so I'm not sure if everybody's following me on Twitter here. But Alien Scientist did put out a debunked video on Bob Lazar. I was just made a find in it. Probably on.
This is the whole. This is the whole damn problem with this, Paul. Yeah. Why are we talking about Bob Lazar now? We shouldn't be talking about him at all.
Probably thought.
He was totally debunked in the 90s.
Yeah, the reason why is Corbell's made a movie about him.
Yeah, but I tell you what, forget about the pair of those idiots and just move on and do our own thing, okay?
Yeah.
That is the best way. There's no point going back to this. It's defunct. It's old.
Yeah, but you got to.
Hang
on. Here we go.
Put them away.
Here we go.
Put them both away. There shouldn't be any part of this channel.
This is what Alien Scientists put out a debunk on him, which is really badly edited, but it's well worth having a watch of. I'll post the link to it here. So we call it AS Debunk for BL. I'll post it there on the side if you want to have a watch of it later. So he goes from the beginning of all the different.
I made my mind up.
Yeah, he goes through. He goes through all the points where they're lying in the videos, all the different interviews, and he puts up a little text on the screen saying, "This is a lie, this is wrong," and so on.
And we did a show called On the Record.
Who still believes in him to look at this kind of stuff, I guess, you know.
So yeah. Have a watch of that one, see how you go. He's got so many downvotes on it so far.
He's got a few downvotes now.
Yeah, I've been getting some downvotes on it too, but yeah. Look how many comments he gets on his one. He gets lots of views. So he's 92,000 subs, 64. He's doing better than I am, but this is really bad video put together. So that's John Lear there when he was less crazy. So yeah, the people who out to pin him as a liar are scared.
UK, Paul.
Well, you can read all the comments here. How gullible these people are. You're saying why we have to debunk him still. Well, you got this guy here saying. The people who are out to pin him as a liar are scared shitless of the true reality.
Yeah, I'd love for it to be true. I'm not scared of it at all.
No.
I know UFOs.
And this guy said, I'm not. I've seen the reality.
Aliens visited us, and I also accept that there's an absolute possibility. Unfortunately, those aliens aren't all good. Or whatever kind of intelligence it is, isn't all good. In fact, I find some of it quite disturbing. So, yeah, would I like to believe in Bob Lazar? Of course. But nah, I'm sorry, I can't believe in him because nothing that he's ever said makes any sense whatsoever, and he's got nothing to back it up.
I'm just having a look at
Never has.
The comments are funny, though. We will wrap up this live stream in a minute, though.
You have these little warring factions and, these little stupid arguments. It doesn't help anybody, really. Do you know? You wasted time on these groups arguing and on Twitter arguing. I think you're really better off, putting your time into doing good research on a case and presenting it on your channel. And I think that's really the way forward. There's so many good cases out there, that are potentially alien visitation. So I think, a lot of people are wasting the time arguing on Twitter.
I like that.
Should be looking at the actual... Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
I've just gone past it. Someone said, "Will Fravor denounce Corbell?" in the comments, and we were just talking about him. Oh well, I've gone past it now. I accidentally clicked on his name.
I mean, some of these browsers, they're quite funny. Some of them make you giggle, but it's not really taken us anywhere forward, is it?
Yeah, I think you're going to always find that there's going to be believers and people that know the truth.
You see, it's not just Lazard that's been reinvented. I mean, you've also got now this thing where we're supposed to believe that alien autopsy is real. As we all know, oh God, what was his name? It was Ray Santilli, wasn't it? It was in charge of this whole thing, and he lied his teeth off about this video. And the guy who actually performed, who actually done the autopsy, he was a model maker, and his name was. Let's check for you now. I've got it. That's it. I remember it from my head now. His name was. It was an unusual name, Spidus Morales. Now, if you type in that, hold on, I'll give you the spelling here if I can.
You ain't going to get me to spell that at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, well. Yeah, okay, Spidus Morales, it's S-P-I.
And I just post it in this. Just post it. Just post it in the side thing, and I'll copy and paste it. Do it the easy way.
Oh God, Paul, you're so much smarter than me. Yeah, I didn't think of that.
Just type it and hit enter, and I'll copy and paste it. Lazar was able to enter Los Alamos with reporter and Mediworkers new bod. Yeah, of course he worked there, that's why. It doesn't mean he saw a UFO. So there's 20% of Bob's story that we've already talked about that was true, and people seem to get stuck up on that. The problem with his going to MIT and Caltech, I actually said MIT. Someone used to pick him up and drop him off at MIT. I actually meant they picked him up and dropped him off at Caltech Library. Not the actual campus, but actually the library. So he was actually self-studying, I think. That we can say he was doing. But
that's right. He could have attended lectures there.
But he claimed to have degrees from Caltech and MIT, which is totally BS. Because
you wouldn't need to Caltech if you've been to MIT. MIT is the ultimate qualification.
No, it's not nothing to do with that. He's got no certificates hanging up on picture frames on his wall, has he?
It's got everything to do with that.
Yeah, but he had cool bear around his house and say, "Oh, here's my qualifications hanging on the wall," like I can do in my household. So he's lying through his teeth.
The big issue, with his qualifications is one: he cannot remember a single lecturer. He cannot remember a single classmate. Now, I've been to college, at only A-level standard. Okay, I remember all my lecturers. I remember at least 2/3 of the students I was with. But somehow, Bob Lazar can't remember one. The simple reason for that, there wasn't any.
Yeah.
And if you mentioned name, they were going to look it up, weren't they? Stanton Friedman's on his case. He'd done a great job of debunking him. And it should have been dead then. It should belong as a mere footnote in the history of ufology.
But plus, you also missed the point that MIT didn't teach that course that he reckons he got a degree in, and also Caltech. Also, Caltech that wasn't even teaching that course as well. So 2 courses that he said he attended, they didn't teach those back in those years.
Oh yeah. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Well, I know
dear.
It was an engineering college, you know. And they later took on sciences as well. So I'm not sure if it didn't teach physics in MIT at that time, you know.
Okay, someone's done a search on it and they can't find it either.
It's obvious he wasn't there.
So what are we looking for? Spyro? You must have mistyped it wrong, have you? Spyrus Morales.
Yeah. Put in with that search. Yeah.
Do you mean this one here? Spyra Mirelibus, a film by Mexico, blah blah blah.
In the search, put in Alien Autopsy with the name. With
that name? Is that spelt right?
Alongside that name, Alien Autopsy. There you go. You'll find it now.
You reckon? It's crossed out there. It means it wasn't in the search team.
Don't use Google, Paul. Just DuckDuckGo.
I think you spelled it wrong. Let's see. We'll just get rid of that then. Filmmaker. Here we go. Sparus. Right, you spelled it wrong. Sparrows. There we go.
Oh, well, difficult name.
Yeah. Oops. Sparrows Melares has finally come clean on how he created the film. 4G once, 4G twice. And of course, that's the Sun newspaper that's even saying this. Oh, that's him there. He was on Den of Law. He did an actual interview where he was talking about how he made it. He's actually a illusionist and magician. So that's the type of people that makes these fakes up, you know.
There's another guy involved called John Humphreys. And they all came together. Ray Santilli, Humphreys, and Morales, they all came together in some kind of a conference in the United States, and they got together and they decided to make this film, you see.
The
original plan was to put it out on the internet and see how it went. And then to come out and say, we actually done this, and they thought that would get them, you know, maybe a better job than what they were in. Because this actually went all the way to Hollywood, and Hollywood even said, we cannot debunk this for sure. We think there's something a bit dodgy about it, but we can't say 100% it's not real.
Yeah.
So then Santilli carried on with it, didn't he?
Okay, so you need to listen to this interview here. I don't particularly like the guy. Let's say it's on Facebook. We want to get the YouTube one. Facebook sucks. Look at it. So it's already chewed up on my CPU already. I want that episode here on YouTube. This is the guy who talks about how he did it. Could it be that one? Fall in the World. Is it on... No. YouTube. Here we go. Is it real? Alien video. Hoaxworth Spyros. Might be that one. Well, I think there's 2 videos. What was that other one that came up?
Okay, I'm just going to go for toilet break.
Okay, so you probably want to have watched that one. I think there was another video he did too. Interview. Let's see, it's locked up on me again, is it? It's do. I think there was another one, episode 102, maybe not. But I think there was a 2-hour thing did. Let's just go back. What's this one here? Fall in the World, it's probably this one here. Is that YouTube? Yes, it is. So probably that one too as well. I only got so far in it. Yeah, that's in there. That's a good one to have a listen to. Alien Autopsy. Yeah, so when you got the person that actually made the video comes clean, I think that sort of much debunks it, right? So what are people saying here? Is the real deal. He is the man who led the team that faked the alien autopsy. Philip Mantel. He actually joined my Discord channel, but he never actually ever talked to me. Yeah,
He's from Yorkshire, UK.
Yeah, he approached me for those Pascagoula audio files that I was putting up on my channel. I still got some more to do, but it might have to be next week for that one. I've got a few more to put up to enhance the quality and put it up. So what we got?
The first one who exposed Alien Autopsy. You know,
so I posted these 2 links about the Alien Autopsy. I'm not sure if you've watched it, Den of Law. I know you don't particularly like the guy, like I don't, but he's quite negative.
I've never seen anything about that guy that I dislike, to be honest.
This guy's really negative. He claims to have seen his own UFOs, but he doesn't actually believe in them now. So, strange guy. And he made that statement: why would aliens want to come to Earth? Well, why wouldn't they? That's my question.
How does he know?
Yeah, well, if we discovered another planet, of course we want to go to it and examine all the bio life on it to see how much different it is from Earth. Of course we want to go to that planet. Same as why aliens want to come to our planet. They want to research it.
It could be anything, couldn't it? It could be to observe our behaviour. Could be, any kind of exploratory kind of project. It could be because we've been exposing nuclear weapons. And daily big signature in space, by the way. So it's kind of coincidental after 1945 UFO sightings increased so dramatically. So maybe there's a little bit of a clue in that. I don't really know. But going back to Philip Mantel now, Yorkshireman, there's a 2-hour interview of him on YouTube where he talks about the alien autopsy. But one thing he doesn't say these days is he fell hook, line and sinker for it first time round, And it's quite a funny story because they were using, I think it was Ray Santilli's sister's house, who she vacated because she was moving property with her husband, and they used her house while it was emptied out and up for sale as the place to come up with this bogus autopsy.
Yeah.
And anyway, made a cock up on the first night because they had a nurse there with them. And I said, look, she said, look, you're using the surgical tools wrong. So they said, oh, hell. Okay, sod it. So they binned that part of it, that part of the tape, and said, we'll start again in the morning. So they left this alien-looking thing, which is a model filled full of witches' guts and what have you, overnight. Well, someone broke in, didn't they?
Right.
In an empty house, no lights on. Easy pickings. Yeah. So it's quite a funny story. They went downstairs, dragged through there. They'd moved most of the stuff out. And the only thing that was missing was a replica gun that was from downstairs. So they went upstairs, put the lights on, and seen some alien lying on its back with its guts hanging out halfway through the bogus autopsy and ran like hell, left the lights on. That's how they knew that someone had gone in.
Right.
Yeah. And they've never been seen again. My God, can you imagine the shock that guy had, yeah?
Yeah. So I just want to
That's
talk...
what you get in someone's house.
Yeah. I just want to wrap up on this thing that came out from Third Phase of the Moon, this Australian guy. Total bogus guy. Another sky watcher that doesn't use the apps out there to check whether it's an international space station flying overhead and planes and birds and all that sort of stuff. So we'll just go through what this guy's saying on here. And I'll just debunk it on the fly. Everybody was saying how good it was to see Australian face on there. So I did actually post a few comments on it.
Filmed a flying saucer.
That's crazy. Yeah, this one...
basically, I start to see it come up.
This one here clearly looks like a drone, you know, what you can buy at a store, right? We'll just...
Over.
There you go, looks like a drone.
And I was with a friend, and luckily enough, I was able to get the camera out, capture it as it went away into the distance. Now that, along with a lot of the evidence that I've been able to obtain over the years, has been analysed by Jason Gleaves, who's ex-UK Air Force.
Jason Gleaves have debunked pretty much everything he's put out. This guy is a self-appointed video analysis guy that's written a book, and even Earl built his book and now regrets it because he knows he's such a fraud in the UFO community. $10 he paid for the book too on Kindle, I think it was. So this guy sent it to another known fraud, and also that famous guy from Brazil. What's his name? Jaime Maussan. We all know is a fraud as well in the South American journalism. So
it's in aerospace. He analysed that footage. And also a lot of the other bits of footage I have, along with Jaime Maussan's group, Terza Millennia, Japanese television and Australian television. So a lot of this has been analysed, but the sightings are continuous.
Not by MUFON and not by people like me, which we can debunk all that. So that one there we just saw there clearly is a bunch of helium balloons being released from a wedding or something. This thing here is definitely a drone. Just the way it's going down.
Basically, I start to see it come over.
I thought it might be a bug flying into the trees, like a bee or thing, but when you see the
seems to be
reflective, so you can see it's like one of those round drones that you buy from the toy shop.
And I was with a friend, and luckily enough, I was able to get the camera out, capture it as it went away into the distance. Now that, along with a lot of the evidence that I've been able to obtain over the years, has been analysed by Jason Gleaves, who's ex-UK Air Force and Aerospace.
And he's a joke, and of course this other one, which bits was it? Right, so where's that one with the balloons popping over? It's like a few frames. You can see it's balloons.
He analysed that footage, and also a lot of the other bits of footage I have, along with Jaime Maussan's group, Terza Millennia.
There we go, look. You can't tell me that's not helium balloons.
Japanese television and Australian television. So a lot of this has been analysed, but the sightings are continuous.
Well, if you're ever troubled... Oh, I'm doing that noise. So where's this other footage? Let's go through it. Here we go. Using a night scope.
Readings or sounds, but mainly I'm using a 4K Panasonic camera for the daytime footage, and at night time I've started using a Psionics Aurora night vision.
So what's that look like to you? That looks very much like it's going in constant speed. It's either going to be a satellite or international space station. And of course, this guy is not using the apps to rule it out. To prove to everybody it's definitely a UFO.
Camera, which is actually coloured night vision, and I'm seem to be getting a lot of activity on that.
Okay, what are we looking at here? A flock of birds or geese, maybe? No, looks like a star. That might be stars. What's this here? Plane. Hang on, can I see a blinking light there?
There's 3 of them. One shot.
Yeah, no, it's going red. It's got the red strobe light going on there. You probably can just see it.
Look at this one.
See how it's flashing?
Orion's a hot spot.
Yeah, it's a hot spot for planes, mate.
So, Peter, I want to get your true insight on what you think these anomalous objects are. Are they interdimensional? Are they one of ours? Some kind of government military experiment? Or something
look at that ponytail
otherworldly?
idiot.
What's your thought?
Well, from my experience, I know a large majority of what I am interacting with. There is still sometimes I have anomalous events, high strangeness, or I see things that I can't explain if I don't.
Yeah, where's the tools, mate? We're using the apps, heavens above, just to prove to everybody. Come on.
Have a dialogue, because sometimes even when I'm filming the craft, I'm actually on the craft and I can see myself looking down on myself as I'm filming it, if that makes sense. It's almost like this mind meld, this consciousness connection. So I do have interactions with these beings. I know exactly who some of them are. So with saying that, a majority of what I'm filming is otherworldly. It's multidimensional technology. Some of them are plasma crafts. Some of these are flying saucers.
Balloons, birds.
That's a big claim.
That is a big claim.
It's just lights in the sky.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we can put that down, can we?
Well, it's mostly that one. It looks like it's a flashing red light there. It's going to be some passenger jet at 40,000 feet there.
Some of them are morphing shape, shifting crafts, cigars, triangles, you named it. I've captured it and filmed it with witnesses around the world. So with that said, some of these are beings that...
Okay, that's another claim there. So if he's seeing cigar things, it's probably a solar tube balloon and stuff like that. Because looking at his footage here, this guy's making outrageous
live
claims.
And reside beside us. Some of them are from the inner Earth, and some of them are from other places in this dimension, in this solar system and beyond, and some of them are from what I call the Star Nation.
Here we go. We got a balloon, right? It must be. Come on. What's that look like? It looks like one of those octopus balloons, right? I don't know if I can zoom in any more on that. Let's have a quick look.
It's an array of balloons.
Yeah, it could be. Looks to me like one of those figures with the big head on.
The window, and it's not doing anything unusual, is it? It's just
seems to be a conglomerate of Orions, Syrians,
well, that's what I mean.
Pleiadians,
He hasn't done any
Arcturians,
analysis to
Andromedan.
prove it's going against the wind. If you can prove something goes against the wind, you can rule out it being a balloon straight away, right? So he's using all the same things that... Yeah, I think he's a Dr. Greer guy, this one. We'll just keep listening.
Crux beings from Pegasus. There's a whole wide host, and then I'm given references for other galaxies as well where they're residing or where they come from. But
so he's getting messages in his head. So he might have a mental problem, of course.
It's not just in the third dimension. These beings are coming in from different vibrational frequencies or densities, dimensions.
He's talking a lot of crap. Okay, that looks like the space station going overhead, right? He's got some crazy music. Well, Third Phase put that there. Let's just get rid of that music. So he's firing a laser beam. If you did that in New Zealand, you'd have the cops outside your door this within probably 10 minutes, arresting you. You can't do that in New Zealand. You could shine probably a infrared laser, and they wouldn't see it. You'd only see it on your night vision, but yeah, you're only allowed a 1 watt laser pointer, which only goes up to 500 meters in New Zealand. You can't get 5 watt that you can in America. So yeah. So
okay. Hey, look, Paul. Yeah, listen, pal, I have to go now.
Yeah, so I'm going to wrap up too. We've done 3.5 hours here, but I think that's pretty much this guy debunked here. I think he was talking about Dr. Greer at some stage.
If it's only a couple of minutes, I'll hang on to the end, like.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much it, actually.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think he does CE5, that's Dr. Greer stuff. We talked about CE5. People, a lot of people believe in it, but I've yet to see anyone about if it's that easy, right? They should be able to summon a UFO in a group and actually get it recorded. You just got to set up cameras miles away with 1,000 times zoom or something. Someone's going to be able to prove it. So yeah, you know what I mean. But I believe that.
The only thing I say to that, I don't think it's the first thing on people's minds when they see something close up and personal,
But Dr. Greer said, "Oh, can you feel the invisible UFO coming down?" And everybody can, everybody gets psyched up when they're meditating. Oh yes, I can feel it around me. Don't open your eyes; you can feel them all around you. It's all subliminal and suggestive to people.
I don't think many people have done as much damage to ufology as Stephen Greer.
He tried to do disclosure, so I'll give him credit for being a good organizer. He's definitely a good organizer, trying to get people together.
That's before anybody realised just the kind of guy that he was. And okay, kudos for what he done. He got a lot of good people together. The only thing is, he put a lot of people, if you look through, that serious disclosure, if you look through the videos easily found on YouTube, unfortunately, there's some, he's mixed it up with some obvious idiots
fakes,
as well.
Crackpots that were proven dishonest, like Boyd Bushman's photograph of the alien, which turned out to be a doll you can order from Amazon.
Walmart.
A Walmart, yeah.
Walmart alien.
Anyway, it's been good having a chat again and bitching about some of the idiots that we have to deal with in the UFO field, and all the rubbish that's been promoted out there as UFOs without doing any real analysis. You can always suspect someone that sees UFOs all the time. It's like they have they see it once, see something unusual, and then they start seeing UFOs everywhere, and they start filming it, and then they start saying, "Oh, I'm going to contact in the desert to show everybody all my footage or whatever as a presentation," and get paid to do it. They don't actually get a proper investigator to check out each of their footages to see whether it can be debunked. So you always need that third-party person that's going to do the proper analysis on stuff before making extraordinary claims, right? But you need to give it to someone like me, I guess, and I can also ask a few MUFON investigators to have a look as well, and other people that's out there, the bunkers, and often they can work it out, they might work out be a plane flight path or a rocket test that happened and all that sort of stuff. So I actually did have a look at space launches. There's actually a site where you can actually look at where the next space launch is going to happen. So you can work out if you start seeing something on that particular day, and of course you've got to convert it to your current time zones. We know how much fun we have with time zones, right? So we got March here, and now we need to move on to the next month. How do we get the next month? Right, arrows up the top here. June, July, we're into July now, or at the end of July. April, July. So when's the next rocket launch? Not too far away. Yamal, that sounds like a Chinese rocket. 601. 30th of June. I'm not sure if it opens up or anything.
Is that the official ones?
Yeah, these are the ones we know about. So the next one, they reckon, in America is the Falcon 9, version 1, 24th of July. That's already happened then, so that's gone up. So all these people that get to go to these rocket launches and actually watch them would be pretty cool. We don't have anything like that in New Zealand. I don't know if you have any in the UK, do you? You don't do any rocket launches, do you?
Certainly not officially, no.
You're going to sing.
There's not really an excuse, for anybody, to fall for a rocket launch. It's you just got to look at Google and put an example in. And then again, if you see one for the first time, and you get those certain light conditions where the sun is just below the horizon, and it does look weird. That's for sure. Hopefully, you guys used to that,
I'm just going to wrap up now anyway, Robert, and let you go. So I'm going to just queue up please like and share, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and also the people that are going to watch it offline. Although I don't think anyone's going to watch 3.5 hours, but you never know. They might find it interesting. So, yep, just click on this, and you can just drop off anytime you want to. Just leave, Robert, and I'll catch you later.
Talk soon.
Okay. Bye. Good night, everybody. On the side chat, take care on the roads. Yep, next one should be Saturday night, American time. See how we go.